everyone, how are you guys? I'm going to get this all set up. I am working on a quilt for my daughter. I've been working on this for a few years, and every time I keep trying to get back at it, there's always something else. I'm going to get this all set up. I am working on a quilt for my daughter. I've been working on it for a few years, and every time I keep trying to get back at it, there's always something else. All right, guys. How are you guys? I'm hoping I am not echoing. Does it sound like I'm echoing? All right, guys. How are you guys? I'm hoping I am not echoing. Does it sound like I'm echoing? Okay. How's that sound? Do you guys hear me now? I don't want to echo. Okay, guys, I'm trying something new today. I am trying to do 2 different cameras tonight. Okay, so you can hear me okay. I'm going to keep talking. Let me know if you guys can't hear me. That would be awesome. Trying something new tonight, and I'm kind of hoping it will work out. And we'll try. My computer up so I can see you guys. Thank you. All right, I'm going to keep talking. Let me know if you guys can't hear me. I am working on a quilt for my daughter, and I want to make sure that you guys can hear me before I get going. All right, give me a shout out. Can you guys still hear me? I know this is going to be kind of awkward at first, so I just want to make sure I got you guys here. Thank you guys for your patience. Okay, if you can hear me, I am happy. Okay. Let me see here. Let me get this over here so I can see you guys. What I did today was I set up 2 different cameras. And so then you can see either or. When I go to my computer, my sewing machine, just like this. And when I'm cutting on the cutting board, I wanted you guys to see both you know, cutting board and sewing machine whenever I wanted to do either or. And so it's easy to go back and forth. So that's what I'm doing. Hello, Joan. Hello, Chrissy. Hello, ladies. Let me know if you can't hear me or if I'm too loud. I set up this new camera system and I'm hoping it looks good. I'm excited. I get to sew tonight and have some fun. Woohoo! I'm so excited you guys can finally see me sew. Yeah, that's right. I got the 5 cam going on here. Hey, Alyssa, how you doing? I have Lori Smith is in the house. I got Popo's in the house. Thank you for coming in. Liz or Lucy Mercado, honey, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Hey, Debbie, how you doing? And whomever else is in the room, say hi and hello. I'm going to show you guys a quilt that I'm working on. I have part 1 and part 2 already, videos that are already in the YouTube channel. It's been, like I said, about a couple of years. I haven't had a chance to pick up the quilt. Christmas is coming, and I want to make sure I can get this quilt done for my daughter. Pretty much, as you can see, it's a film strip, or as you can say, a negative. So this would be the actual like film square. And this is an example to explain to you guys what exactly I mean. This here is going to be the border on the top and bottom of each one of the film pieces. Of course, there's going to be black along the border, and then it's going to have the obviously the next piece. So there'll be black here, and then this film strip will keep going. So pretty much it's a quilt that is a t-shirt quilt. Obviously, this is The Walking Dead. My daughter loves The Walking Dead. And I'm just going to show you guys tonight how to, this is what it is, but it's going to be a film negative roll. If you could call, a kind of example is like a snippet roll. It's going to be like, it's going to be a roll, but it's going to be a negative roll. Does that make any sense? A negative strip roll I'm making, and they're going to be the border for this quilt for me. And I figured I was going to show you how I do it. I designed this quilt pattern. I've done them in the past. I've done, what's the last quilt I did? That was a movie film quilt. It was the Star Wars. Someone had collected Star Wars t-shirts all the way from the 70s on through. And I made like a memory quilt that is a film strip quilt for them. So I'm making one for my daughter now. She loves The Walking Dead. So yeah, I'm excited. So you guys hear me? I'm fine. I'm not loud. I'm glad. Hey, Debbie, how you doing? Nice to see you all too. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you. So don't forget to thumbs up. Comment in the comment board if you can't hear me. It helps. Again, the system's all set up differently. I'm trying to work on it, kind of thing. Yes, so I get to quote with you guys tonight. I'm so excited. Yes, Walking Dead. I haven't got to finish the end of The Walking Dead, but has anyone watched my YouTube videos in my YouTube channel, the how step 1, step 2, how to make this quilt? If not, no worries. One reason why I'm quilting and getting the negative roll pattern all set up is because I'm going to be doing channel. There's part 1, part 2, and then I'll finish part 3. It's obviously the film strip. And I'm going to hopefully complete this up and you guys can see me finish a quilt. You know, I haven't got to do that yet. Thank you. Thank you. Nice comments. Thank you for the positive. Oh, that's fun, Debbie. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Welcome. So yeah, I will be sewing today. Okay, for those who are in the room, if you have no tolerant for blood, let me know, or you might have to step out because some of these t-shirts are pretty gory with some blood. Now, you're probably wondering, why would I make my daughter a Walking Dead t-shirt quilt? And why would anyone want to quilt with blood and gore on it? Well, you know, my daughter loves the series. I'm sure back when she has in the future, when she has her children, she probably want to put that quilt away until they get older, kind of thing. But just picture, okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do this here, right? But it doesn't have to be Walking Dead t-shirt quilt per se. It could be, say, a memory quilt. Like, you know, today you could actually print off pictures of family onto fabric now. You can print them through your printer, actually. I've done it years ago. They've gotten better and better with their printable fabrics. You can do that with that. You can do a t-shirt quilt, a button up and down shirt quilt, you know, any type of theme you want, and make it like a movie. I think it would be really cool if you did like a family tree type of, like, you know, like a, not a movie, but like a sort of like a negative type of, when I say negative, it sounds so weird because back in the day, this is a film negative I am creating. So nowadays, they're like, kids are probably like, what is a negative? You know what I mean? So, anywho, yes, like real blood? No, part of the designs. If you guys don't like blood, this is the time to close your eyes. But yeah, some of the squares, like, I'll explain what these are here. These are t-shirts. In part 1, part 2 on my YouTube channel, you'll see what I did is, because you're probably wondering, how can you make t-shirts like so square? You know, how did I make them so square? How did I have them so where they're not stretchy? In part 1 and part 2, I show you how to fuse your fabric, your t-shirts. See if you can see on the back of it, like this is a black t-shirt. And I fused it, like fusing is like an iron-on fabric. I use 100% cotton fabric fusible. Here we go. This might help. Helen makes like 100% cotton fusible fabric. You could put on the back of that, iron it on, and then I recut these squares kind of thing. Now, as far as blood, what I mean by that, those who watch Walking Dead, you'll see. Hang on, you'll see. Okay, that's what I mean by blood. I mean, there's going to be gore, you know, axes in the head, heads are off, you know, things like that. Now, just picture this quilt, say, in a more positive and beautiful way. But this is Walking Dead. I mean, like I said, you can do, say, if you have a grandchild or a child who loves Winnie the Pooh, or, you know, you can turn it into a film quilt. You know what I mean? Yeah, one of these days, I think my daughter's going to look back and say, why did I ask my mom to make me a Walking Dead t-shirt quilt? But hey, you know, this is what she's wanted. Now, mind you, when you make a t-shirt quilt like for Walking Dead, or say Star Wars, or whatever type of movie, TV show you do, t-shirts are crazy expensive. I'm telling you, to get them like less than 20 bucks are expensive. So it took a lot of money, you know, and time for her to give me t-shirts that she's collected. Some of these we had purchased, you know, just so we could complete a quilt. But making a t-shirt quilt can be pricey if you're buying all the t-shirts. Now, if you have t-shirts that you've had through the years and you've collected, it won't be so bad if you're going to make a quilt right away. But hey. Anywho, so yeah, that is what I'm creating today. I'm making a snippet roll, if you could call it a snippet roll. It's not snippets. It is a quilted film roll I'll be making. So this is an example of, but it's going to be in a long strip and it's going to be in a roll. And what it is, it's the border for the top and the bottom of each one of these squares. So you guys will see the entire quilt when it's done later. But tonight, I was just going to show you guys how I make the film strip for that quilt. Yes, it's a Christmas gift. Nothing like an axe in the head. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Hey, Rose. I mean, Kim. Sorry, I was going to say vintage Rose, but Kim. Yes, hi. How is everyone? So now you guys kind of have an idea what I'm going to do. If you have any questions about sewing, go ahead and ask, because like those who just got in the room, you didn't see. I have 2 different cameras going on tonight. I have one on my sewing machine, and then I have one on the cutting table. So this is where I'm going to cut today, so you guys can see what's going on. Hey, Natalie, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. My husband's going to be setting up a third camera section for me to where I can, when you guys come into the room in the beginning, I can see you guys. Where you can see me, I can see you, and I can switch over. We'll work on that, guys. At least for now, I got two views. I got my cutting table view, and then we got the sew machine view tonight, guys. So at least you guys, if you have any questions about the sew machine. Now, the sew machine view might be a little fuzzy. Seems like with StreamYard, when you have more than one camera or more than one person added on, it seems like the second or third picture is a bit fuzzy. So I'm going to try my best. And so that you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them for you. So it's a good night to do that, guys. I'm in no hurry if you're not in any hurry. Anyone else sewing for this Christmas? Thank you, thank you. This is one of my babies. I actually, for anyone who got the Christmas journals that I created, I actually did use my FOF, this FOF for that. I was scared at first because I've never used paper with her. Does anyone name their machines? Anyone other than me ever name their machines? I do. Anyone want to guess what I name her? Anyone? I know there's so many machines out there. I would have to say if you can afford a good machine, get a Brothers. That's a great start. But if anyone wants it, and you can, save your pennies and get a really nice machine. I love the FOF brand. I like Harshkabana. But FOF, what's really cool is you can get into a lower grade FOF. Like this here is, I can't say the lower, this is in the middle ground. This is not like the bottom, but if you get a starter, if you want to get your hands into a FOF, it is smooth as butter. Is the best way I can put it. I love it. Lucy's in the house. Hey, Lucy. I haven't seen you in a long time either. Yes. What I'm going to do is every Monday, I'm going to do Monday, a Sew With Me Monday. Next Monday, I was going to do, for those who've watched my memory pillows, how to make a memory pillow. And it's like a button-up pillow for, say for a guy. It's going to be like a guy memory pillow, say if a loved one passed away. One of my most seen videos on YouTube is that. And I have a tutorial on how to make one. But I figured I can go live and teach you guys, what the measurements are. And you can follow along. If you're interested in that, have a shirt ready and we can do that. What's cool about it, it is a no zipper pillow. The entrance and exit is the buttons on the front. So yeah, that'll be next week. Well, the name, you named yours what? Okay, I got to read the feeds. Okay, I don't know if I could say that, Christy. How do I say that? Salome. I can't say it. I'm afraid to say it and mess up. Oh, cool, Peggy. I agree. I think the Singer brands, the older ones, are really great. The newer ones, watch you guys, as I'm rubbing on my sewing machine. I miss her. I haven't got to play with her for a while. So, but Singer older machines, my very first machine was a Singer, and she lasted me so long. But the thing with older machines, I mean, they're getting better and better with sewing machines for the pieces. Like, for instance, the replaceable pieces. Some of them are cheaper, of course, when it comes to plastic, but they're getting better in engineering of them. Far as their pieces, they're cheaper, but their engine and how they run are better. Anyone else name their machine? It is a British comedy show called Are You Being Served? She is a huffy old British lady with a pink hair and wears a biker clothes. What? Oh my god, that's hilarious. Never seen it. You're gonna have to send me a link, Chrissy, so I can see it. That would be awesome. That is awesome. Anyone else name their machine? And then I will jump right in and show you what I'm doing. I'm going to have to make a whole lot of yardage. I need about each one of these film strips that I'm doing need to be at least 75 inches long. So I need about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 75-inch long film strips tonight. So I'm going to do my best to get through them and all that. So awesome. What a name. What a name. Well, my FOF is Honey. So, because she's so sweet, she is one of my favorite machines. So mine's a little bit more simple, Christy, than your name, but Honey is mine. She's my honey. She's your soul sister. That is hilarious, that show. I've never seen it. I'd love to see that. All right, I'm going to switch cameras. Okay, as you guys can see here, I showed you the t-shirts. This here's another day. Tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to be doing step 3 on a video for those who've been watching the series on how to make a film strip quilt. And in that video, at the end of it, will be part 1 and 2, and in the description if you guys do want to watch it. But I do have quilters who are following me on the tutorial on how to do this. So this is where I'm at now. And I need to make these 75 inches long. This is just a test to an example for you. All my quilts I have make are created by myself. I know, call me old-fashioned, but I design most of my quilts. And the film strip quilt is one that I do paper. I kind of figure out how I want it to be. And then I cut out the pieces, and then I figure out, is this the right size? Because every quilt is different. Depending on how many squares I have in this quilt, determine the width and the length of my film strip, negative film strip for this quilt design. So this one in particular, I had to design it, to fit her type of pieces. So that is what these pieces are. You're probably wondering, what the heck? Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do, since this quilt is designed by me, it's a film strip quilt, I'm going to actually, Holly and I are going to work on it, but anyone who wants to jump in and help, I've never done this before, where I've actually put one of my patterns up for sale, to where if you wanted the full quilt pattern and the sizes of the pieces, and to where you can design, have them either a small, medium, large size film strip. I was going to do that. So that's another day, but I've never done that before. And I'm going to do that for this one because there's so many people may like the film strip kind of quilts. So yes, thank you. You like Honey. Honey is my dear. And she's definitely, she's heavy as hell, though. I mean, oop, bleep. Can I bleep that out? But she's heavy, But I'll tell you what's nice about a heavy machine and not a lightweight machine is it doesn't wobble on the table. So I like that. I like the fact that she sits her, machine down heavily and doesn't wobble everywhere. I like that. Oh my gosh. I need to see that show, Chrissy. That's hilarious. That is cool. All right, guys, if you don't mind, as you chat, I'm going to dig in. When I do the quilt pattern, I will have the measurements and everything on how I do this, but this is fun to me. So if anyone has any sewing questions as I'm doing this, go ahead and just ask. This is so different because I'm not used to doing a live where I am quilting and cutting. It's been so long. This is where I originally started on Etsy and on YouTube. And it's awesome that I'm going to be doing this every Monday, to where you guys have any questions about sewing and you get to see and learn something new. Like next week, at least, I can teach you how to make a memory pillow for a family or loved one, which is awesome. I'm going to be selfish today. Today is a day where I need to catch up on the film strip for this quilt, and I figured I can bring you guys along for it. So as you can see, I have my templates, my plastic templates, my flisk or rotary cutter. Right now, I'm doing the white centers for this foam strip, and they have to be 2.5 inches. When you do designs or small pieces like this, they have to be like nearly perfect. Otherwise, you'll see every flaw along the way, kind of thing. So that is one thing. If you're doing anything tiny, it always shows, kind of thing. It's so scary when I do this part, but hey, I will make it work. Am I missing anything? Is anyone else quilting? And anyone have quilting questions, just ask. I'm going to dig in this, and if I see a question, I will answer it the best I can. It could be about your machine. It could be, I don't know, anything other than quilting. For now, the fabrics I'm using for this quilt, I don't buy cheap fabrics. When it comes to quilts that I know, for instance, my daughter, she's going to be using this and washing this over and over and over. So I want to make sure it is like my cotton, especially white cotton fabric. I buy the thickest weave I can find. I don't mind paying the price, because when you mix white and black together, it will, like, you can see the black piece behind the white if you don't, put it together right. Example, what I mean by that, like, look at the back of my film strip. Okay, hope I can explain this okay. As you can see, the back looks just as good as the front. My stitch work, I'm going to take the clips out. I don't need them. I did that to show you an example. Before I cut it, now, no, the olden days I used to. I don't iron now because I don't even wash prior. They say if you are going to make a quilt today, don't wash the fabric. You cut the pieces and you sew it together, and then you wash. Before, the olden days, they say wash your fabric so they don't shrink before you sew them together. But if you're sewing in the right direction of the non-stretchy section, you won't have the issue. But if you are, I guess it's a matter of opinion. I don't. Now, if the fabric's wrinkly, I will iron it, yes. Okay, so my example for this. Now, the white, if you don't iron the back of the seam in the back, you'll see this black come through the white on the front. And the last thing I don't want nothing showing through my white strip. So what I do, as you can see here, is when I do my fold, it's kind of sewn down, but you'll see it here in a minute when I sew it together. See how you can't even see my fold because I had sewn it down. You can't even see my fold line. I'll explain how I did that, because I don't want the iron this seam line onto the white so the black shines through. This is the back. Not bad, eh? So yeah, so that's another secret I'm going to show you tonight, how to iron down and fold over so your piece, your seam in the back doesn't show through your fabric in the front. Oh, how cool. I wish I had, if you guys follow me on my Facebook group, if you go down far back, say a year or so ago, you will see quilts I have made for people. And one thing I do specialize in is memory quilts, clothing quilts, where I take anything from children's socks to hats to pajamas, the zippers, the whatever. I keep all pockets, zippers, everything, and I make the clothing quilt where it is usable for the child, where they can open up the zippers or snaps in the front. They can put their fingers in the original sock or their first baby hat. When they come, when they're born, they put that little baby cap on a square. I do it and sew it to where it will be, they put their hand in there and they can see as a child how small their tiny little head was. All those things. Yeah, that's if you go on my Facebook group and check out photos, I imagine you'll see them there. So right now I'm cutting the 2.5-inch squares, which are these squares here. And then the next pieces are these pieces, and those are in between. Isn't it crazy that this piece here is actually the same piece here? But being the fact that you sew 1/4 of an inch around each piece, you're losing all that fabric that is yellow right there. I highlighted it to give you guys an example. That is actually that piece. That tells you how much fabric you lose when you sew. That is what that piece is. Does anyone in the room don't know what a film negative is? I'm curious. Or is it just me and a handful of people? All right, I got some of them. Now we're going to work on this piece, like I said. That is 1 inch. Now, could you imagine? I'm going to be working with 1-inch pieces, 2.5-inch, 1-inch piece to make these pieces. So this is the square part, as you can see. I'll do that there to show you. These have to be 2.5 inches strips, which will go like this. And that's what I'm going to sew on there here in a minute. Yes, seam allowance. Did I say the wrong word? I might have just blabbing and said it wrong. Seam allowance. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just cutting, and this is what I'm doing here. So kind of give you guys an example of what I'm doing. You can see the difference in size before it's sewn. Isn't that crazy? For some people, it's earlier. Like right now for me, when I jumped on, it was 7 o'clock. Right now, it's 7:30. What time is it for you guys? I'm Central Time. Today, I got to, my husband and I, we went pretty much everywhere. We kind of just went driving around. It was a beautiful day here. It's like 75 degrees. It was absolutely gorgeous. How's the weather where you guys are at? So yeah, this quilt here is for my daughter, Abby. For those who've been following along, she loves Walking Dead, and about, I think, 3 Christmases ago, believe it or not, I feel like I'm the worst mom in the world. 3 Christmases ago, she wanted me to make her a Walking Dead t-shirt quilt. Well, one thing led to another. We finally got the t-shirts, and I put it aside. Finally got the fabrics, put it aside, and I just kept putting it aside. And now that Christmas is coming, my goal is to at least pick it back up and to finish this for her. I'm sure I'm not the only one who who has projects like that. It's one of those projects that I keep putting off, and it's a really easy one. Making this is so easy. It's tedious. Like as you can see, I'm doing all these little bitty witty pieces, but it's worth it. So cold. Okay, so let me see. I'm reading the feeds here. 5:30. Okay, so is this a good time for you guys? I know live sales, I usually do this time. So I'm not sure, is this a good time for sewing for you guys? Got a little bit more of those to go. Here's white. I'm going to move this up so then at least you guys can see what I'm doing and how it's got to be sewn together. It is raining where you're at, Peggy. Yikes. The cool thing, I think, where we live, the rainy season seems to be August, September, October here in Florida. Over in Pensacola, there's different type of weather in Florida in general, but here in Pensacola, that's the weather for that. And right now, we are in like weather that's like spring, early fall, and it's always sunny, it seems like. Rarely do we have rain or a gloomy day, but it's like usually in the 70s around here. No, Lucy. The cool thing about this quilt is I'm a big fan about quilting the top of a quilt. And then usually I have a friend that I take and I get the whole entire quilt sandwiched together with long arm service. Does anyone here not know what long arm service is? Long arm service is, and I'm going to say it since I'm still waiting for the feeds. It's a huge machine. I wish I had one. Usually it's a machine that fits like the size of a very large room. These machines are like from $20,000. They can run up to $100,000+. And you just put your top of your quilt, your batting of the center of the quilt, and the backing of the quilt, and you put it on this rack. And you choose your design, and it does like this designs like so fast on the quilts. And what I love about that is it puts so many stitches that I couldn't even do that if I quilted the top of my quilt myself. And what I love about that is it allows your quilt to last so much longer. So many more washings. It's stitched with so many stitches. It's awesome. So I don't quilt my quilt together, or some people call sandwich together. I just do the top, and then I have this lady, a friend of mine, who does the rest. And I figure when I get to that point, I will do a video of you guys watching her finish that part. So those who like to see what a long arm machine does. Usually I pay her 2 inch per, what is it? What is it? I forgot what I pay her. It's 2 cents per square inch, I think, or something like that. I forgot what it was. I don't know if who is it? Also has a long arm machine. It's a friend of ours. Oh my gosh, my brain, guys. I'm telling you, this week my brain has been a bit on the blah side. I need my brain. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm just cutting the pieces, and then I'm going to take it over the machine for you guys. Rachel, thank you. Thank you. There's my brain. Thank you. My brain is Debbie tonight. Thank you, Debbie. She has a long arm machine. So I was going to get in contact with her and see if maybe she would like to finish this and show you with her machine. She does offer long arm services for those who want that for their quilt. And then once I finish the top of this quilt, I'll send it her way if she's open for doing a job. Sometimes this is the time of year for those who have a long arm machine that can't, because they're pretty booked. It's hard finding someone who does long arm machine and everything. So, okay, I don't know. Is there? Oh, Jessica Harris, how you doing, hon? Welcome. Quilting, I can get lost. That's right, Debbie. That's who I was talking about. It was Rachel. I was hoping to get her name on my brain. I sometimes always call her Rochelle. I don't know. For some reason, I keep calling her Rochelle, and I know her name's Rachel. And then when I go live, it's for some reason I'm like, Rochelle. And I'm like, Salena. Oh, I can get ditzy. I apologize. Oh my gosh. All right. So I got a bunch of these guys already ready. The sides. I got some of these squares. I'm going to need more of these. These strips along the outer are already cut. They're done already. So I need to do more of this. We'll get sewing. This is how easy this is. Now, if anyone's interested in the film strip, I can do this, or the negative strip, that is. I could do this in various sizes. If you want a small trim like this, or if you want it larger. I'm debating on, because I'm doing this now, I'm seriously debating on selling this by the yard in the shop. So we'll see. I'm debating. I'm not sure. It depends on my time factor, but I think I will be willing to take orders for those who want to do a quilt like this. It will save them a lot of time. This quilt would be done in a day if I didn't have the film strip or the negative strip. Keep saying it wrong. And I didn't see, did anyone say they don't know what a negative is? A film like a negative film, negatives of a film. Am I saying it right? Because some people watching this may not know what exactly am I talking about. Did I cut that wrong? It shifted. Okay, so Debbie, Rachel made a quilt for you. All right, so I think we got a bunch of squares. This strip needs to be at least 75 inches long. So when I switch over to the next camera, the quality may not be as good. Don't fret. I'll be right back over to the other side here in a minute. Sometimes when you do StreamYard, the second video is a little fuzzy. I'm not sure why. Okay, so now I got these guys ready to go. You guys ready to quilt with me? I'm about ready to make one of these strips. Getting them all ready. Sweet. Okay, I'm excited. Now, let me know if my machine is crazy loud. I will try to move the camera. Okay, hello, baby Fluff. I should say honey. All right, so what I do is I take the square, wait for the camera to get over here, and then I put the first piece right here on top. You can't go wrong. Make sure I line it up. I don't need to pin it down. I just hold it together. And then I'm going to sew 1/4 inch right here. I know I'm not close up, so you can't really see it. Go ahead and cut that. As you can see. Then I'm going to take the next piece and do the same thing on the other side. Cool, huh? So 1/4 inch again. Don't forget the thumbs up, loves. It helps. Now I'm going to be, see there that is. And then now I'm going to do is iron this open like that. And when I iron it, I want to make sure it's ironed open like that. So okay, let me go to the iron and iron that really quick, and I'll be back. Okay, and there's that guy. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the white one and put it right on top for those who want to know. I'll try to do this. Let me know if I hope I'm not speaking too low. I don't want to be yelling at you guys. So I take the next white piece and I put it right on top there. Make sure it's even as possible. And I'm going to sew 1/4 inch right there. There's that. And I'm going to iron this guy open like that. You know what? I'm going to come back for you guys because I said I'm going to open it up like this. This is the part I was going to tell you. Is when I iron it, I'm going to iron this closed over that one. Because the last thing I want is this to be over like this, and you're going to see the line. I don't know if you can see this on the camera. You'll see the dark line right here if I ironed it down like that. So to avoid that, I iron the opposite direction like this. It's almost like a fold. So when I fold it down, you will not see any fold line inside here. I folded it in behind the black. Does that make sense? It's the last thing I want, because white fabric, you can see through any type of fabric that's behind it. And it's the last thing I want is when I put the backing or the batting or the backing on this is I don't want to see a ripple, not only of fabric right there. I want this smooth as possible inside that square. Very tricky, very tedious, but it, you know, when you finish your quilt, it's going to look so much better, and that piece is going to lay flat, and so you don't have a bulky quilt, you know, it will lay flat. So I'm going to do that with every one of them. Yeah, this is the hardest part about this quilt, but it is worth it, every bit of it. Okay, now I'm going to add another white one at the top, just like that. Make sure it lined up really good. Now, when I sew these together, your best bet, I'm going to bring this right back up again, don't stretch your fabric. That's a key for not having your pieces turn like wobbly. You know, like when you're sewing them, you're wondering why are they like moving around? Well, when you sew it together, obviously your tension needs to be where it's not sewing too tight. In this case, a 2.5 is good for me. But here, when I put these together and I sew them, I don't push or pull at all. I just lay it and tap it on there so there's no stretch or tension. You don't want, because with cotton fabrics, they like to stretch. So you're trying to not let it stretch. And there's no fusible backing on this. This is just cotton fabric. So I try my best not to stretch, if that makes any sense to you guys. But for my quilters, you kind of know what I mean. Oh, awesome. See, Natalie, you can do that same thing when you quilt. When you quilt and when you iron, is always turn it the opposite direction to where it lays flat. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to turn this and I'm going to iron it flat. So it's like a fold. So when I sew the piece going this way, it's going to sew together flat, you know, all the way down. And the two sides sewn together, it will be flat. It'll be like a flat back. If that makes any sense. So let me iron this down. Okay. So we're getting there. So I'm going to keep going and going. Does anybody have questions on the sewing machine? I have it right here. I'm going to keep doing this as you're watching, but I'm going to keep sewing. I'm going to put the next piece on here. Again, for those who are just new in the room and didn't get to hear, the tutorial part 1, part 2 of doing the film strip clothing quilt is already on my YouTube channel. So you can watch part 1, part 2 on how to sewing, I think is where it's at. This is tomorrow when I do the video on part 3. This is myself, what I'm doing here live is preparing my strips for that live. I'm sorry, for that video. So, all right, so I'm going to iron that one over, but I'm going to go this side first before I decide to iron. So this could be pretty relaxing. This is something I would do in front of the TV when my husband's watching, we're watching a show together, or I just take my machine and I could just do this and keep going. And so this is what and then this here, when I'm done, I'll show you, I just roll it up in a roll. I may not use it all, but at least I have strips of it left. Okay, I'm gonna go and iron it down. Okay, this has to be 75 inches long, guys. So each strip, and I think I'm just going to keep going on a roll instead of making strips that are 75 inches wide. I'm sorry, long. I'm going to go ahead and keep going and turn this into one large film roll. And I can cut it as I go, kind of thing, when I make my quilt. Make sure I got that good. Last thing, one thing I want to do is be off. I'm very picky about being exactly on. And fabric has a tendency to want to move and shift. And like I said, when you do tiny strips like this, it can be tricky because anything you do that is not correct will be shown. It's like little details will like pop out if it's not exactly on, kind of thing. Okay. So keep that going. So anyone here interested if next Monday I do a memory pillow, how-to memory pillow, and I can teach you. It is so easy. It requires no zippers, which is awesome. Does it automatically backstitch? Yes, it does, hon. And I can show you really quick and put this down. Yes, it does. So most machines today do. I don't know if I can show you that. Let me see if my camera shows it. I'm waiting for my, it seems like the, let me refresh my, there we go. Refresh my computer and see if I can see if it's up. There we go. Okay, so right here, my machine has a back stitch right here. It's like digital. It's like a reverse back stitch, yes. Now, when I'm doing these film strip rolls, I don't back stitch because I'll tell you why here in a second. Let me put this guy right back down. The reason why I don't back stitch on mine is because here when I'm done with this, I'm putting a strip. Let me see here if I have it here. Let me find it. Okay, I had to cut it. So I'm putting a 1.5 inch strip on either side of this. So the reason why I'm not back stitching my pieces from the top and bottom is because here very soon I'm going to be sewing, hang on, the best way to explain it. I'm going to be sewing this black strip right over these folds. I wonder if I'm I hope I'm in frame. So these here, I'm going to be sewing right over these here on the border. So it's going to tie it down, and I'm going to back stitch these pieces right here. And I'll show you here in a minute how I back stitch those. So then they won't ever open up. I only back stitch right here. Does that make sense? I use polyester. I'm a fan of polyester. And no matter which thread I use, say if you are a cotton fan of thread, which some people are, no matter which thread you use, cotton or not, make sure that if you're going to use cotton, I'm going to turn my thing right back on. If you're going to use cotton, make sure the cotton thread is at the top, and you also use cotton thread in your bobbin. Don't ever use, say, a polyester here and a cotton in your bobbin. Don't mix them. Cotton and cotton, or poly. All-purpose Natalie thread is usually polyester thread. When you get an all-purpose thread, it's 100% polyester. Oh, Peggy, you asked if it automatically back stitches. It is programmed where I can do that, but I'm not. I like control of my my sewing machine. I don't want it to that part to think for me. I back stitch when I want to back stitch. Oh, good question, Lucy. Would I normally do quilting this way, doing these pieces? No. I usually don't stop and iron. The only reason why I'm showing you stop and iron is for you guys. I usually just keep quilting these on my machine, and then I iron last before I do the border on either side of this. Yes, did that help you guys? So the normal way for me to do this, let me show you the normal way. Now that I showed you how I did this, guys, Now, if I was all by my lonesome and I was sewing along, I'm hoping I'm close enough here for you guys. I moved my sewing machine. I hope I'm in sync here. Now, if you are just doing this like doing it this way, this is the normal way of doing it before you iron. I would just do this. I would just take my next piece. Here we go. Here, Lucy, I'll explain it to you. I think this is what you're saying, Lucy. I would just do this and do all my pieces and iron last. So here's the next one. Come on. All right, instead of ironing right now, I won't iron. I'm just going to flip this up and then take my white piece and keep going. Now, Lucy, if you're talking about if I get what you're saying, Lucy. Okay, there's another way of doing this really fast as well, to where I don't have to do that and cut, do that and cut. So I can do this just like that. And I think what Lucy's talking about is taking a white piece and a black piece. Instead of cutting this thread right now and going to the next one, I'm just going to do this, keep that on the machine. And then I put this in here and I feed it through. Yeah, this is how I would normally do it. This is what Lucy's talking about. Instead of cutting it, I grab another black piece and a white piece, and I keep doing that for however long. It saves me from cutting thread, because I have to put these together, right, on the opposite side. I just keep going. Yeah, so Lucy, to answer your question, this is how I would normally do it on my lonesome. This will speed up the process like crazy. I just keep that going all the way through, because all I have to do is cut the thread in between. This, see how fast this is going now that I'm doing it this way? Gutermann, yes, Gutermann thread is the all-time, well, for myself, and I'm only speaking for myself. I can't tell, you know, other people how they feel about their sewing products. I use Gutermann or Gutterman, or some people call it Gutterman. Gutermann thread is what I normally use. But hey, sometimes if I get a good deal on polyester of certain brands that I like as well, I will use them as well. Lucy, did I answer your question? So let's see here. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. So yes, Lucy is what how Lucy said is exactly how I would normally do it, but I was trying to teach you guys a way of how it's done, you know, far as how it's supposed to look pretty fast. And how I'm doing it, to where you kind of understand. For Lucy, for those who don't sew all the time, don't know the speedy way of doing things. Believe it or not, it took me years to learn, okay, this process, oh, I can do it faster doing it this way, kind of thing. And let's see here, Jana, see, I didn't say Jana. Haha, do I get brownie points for that? I wanted to thank you guys on the Saturday Night Live, all the love you guys gave Holly when you guys did the down below where you guys have the, it's called Super Chat, where you send money, you know, for the person who's doing the live. She did so well. You guys really blessed her. It put some more money in her pocket. It was awesome. She was like so thrilled. I think that night that you guys sent her a combination of like $50 or so, and so she used that towards her Christmas gifts for the boys. So thank you guys, appreciate it. Does anyone have a Christmas wish? You know, what are you looking for Christmas? Usually my husband and I, we just buy our own things. You know, it's like, if we want something, we'll get it, because, you know, we're home together. The kids are gone. I mean, we spoil the grandboys, of course. But I have been saving my pennies, any type of extra pennies I get outside of work. I want to get a 10 needle embroidery machine. I would love to have a 10 needle embroidery machine. I've been wanting one really bad. I've been looking at different kinds of brands. How about you guys? And let me read the feeds really quick. Okay, let's see what's going. Do you really, Debbie? Oh my gosh, Debbie. You know, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, Debbie, about using old thread because, you know, there is some good old thread out there. But the thing with old thread, most of the time, it is made 100% cotton. And cotton has a tendency to rot really easily. And so over time, you know, those things rot. But how can I say that when you see some of those beautiful vintage quilts out there and they still are standing strong? So I'm only going off of quilters' experience kind of thing. But when I see vintage quilts, I question that. So, okay. So Lucy, this is what Lucy was talking about. You know how some people make banners and stuff? This is how they make banners, pretty much, the way Lucy said. But this way, I did it this way because this is easier. So all I have to do, I'm going to move the camera right over to the table so I can give you guys a close-up of what I mean. Okay. So the way Lucy was talking about is the typical way for quilters to do that. Instead of showing you how when I started it, I would do a piece and then I would iron it and then do a piece and iron it. That would take me forever. So by me doing it this way, all I have to do is take my scissors and in between are these threads and carefully cut those threads. Now don't pull the threading in between because it would be terrible. You'll lose all that thread you put through there. I'm going to be turning that section and doing the opposite direction and doing a back stitch. But I make sure, whoops, hope I'm in frame. I cut in between each and every one of them. So then I have all these squares like that. Is this helpful? Does anyone understand what I'm doing? If you're confused, just say, I'm confused. And you'll kind of understand here in a second once I do the other side. You know what I mean? It's so much faster. Lucy was just trying to show you guys a way of doing it faster. I wasn't going to do it this way, but hey, if you guys want to learn. Okay, so I have all those squares now, right? I already did. All I have to do is turn them and go the opposite direction. Sorry, I did that wrong. I just flipped that guy and go the opposite direction on each one of them. So I'll do that one, let it go through, and do that with the next one. And it, you know, kind of shortens it. So I'm going to do that now and flip over to the next screen. Okay, so as you can see, it almost looks like I'm encasing it. I'm going to put it right through that machine, opposite side. Make sure it lines up. Looking good to me. And sew it right through. Then I take two more of those pieces and do the same thing. Flip that guy up. Obviously, the next piece is white. So I put them right on there. Make sure he lines up because fabric likes to stretch and move. The cotton fabric, that is. And go right there. Rose is in the house. Hey, Rose, how you doing? So yeah, I want to get like a 10 needle embroidery machine. Anyone else? What are you wanting for Christmas? So I'm saving my pennies. So any extra money I do, I'm going to be doing that. Flip that up and put that through. Anyone have any fancy type of gift you're wanting? Yep, this is totally an assembly line process. So the faster I do this, the faster I can show you completing a roll. Looks kind of boring, but this is how it's done. It's going to save me a whole lot of time. And it turns out so cute in the end. So if you guys haven't, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can click off of me if you want to. Go to my YouTube channel, go under How To with Your Sew Machine, I think it is, and check out part 1 and part 2. Tomorrow I will have part 3 on how to make the film strip quilt. So I have a lot of people, I've been having a lot of people comment on that video. It's a really liked video, and they've been asking, where's part 3? Where's part 3? Well, here is part 3 coming. So at least this here tonight's live, it's going to help me get a head start on tomorrow's video tutorial on how to do that. All right, so I'm going to take him off. I got some more banners, except I have them like that. So I'm going to find another end because I have an extra guy left. Then I'm going to tack him and put him right on there and sew him on. Let's see what we got. How you doing tonight, Rose? Are you confused on what's going on? For those who are just jumping in, I imagine it will be kind of quite confusing. I'll finish this part, I'll iron it, and then we'll just do like a trim here, and then at least give you an idea what it's like. All right, let me move my way to the table, or I can cut them right here in front of you guys. And then I'll read what you guys are saying here in a minute. Let's see. Yes, River City Creative. I know who in the house, who's in the live tonight, who's been waiting for me to sew. I know that so many people are like, when are you going to sew? When are you going to sew? I'm quilting. No way. This is what Selena's love is. All right, so I cut all those pieces. And this is what Lucy's talking about. We're making it faster. See how much faster? We can iron at the end, guys. Iron at the end. So I'm going to take that one. Obviously, it's black, white. Black, white is the pattern. So I hope I'm not making you guys, some of you guys like, what is going on? It'll look good once I get it closer to that. Next step. Right now, this is the part where it takes a little time. All right, grab another one. Rose, did you get the red rose box? No, I think Rose, didn't you get the yellow rose? I think Rose got the yellow rose. I know, I think she wanted the red rose. All orders are done and ready to buy from the live for those who were in the live. Your orders are up. I need to check your emails. They will be up there. Check your emails because all orders are done. See how much faster that is, guys? So much faster. All right. Does anyone want to know how to stabilize a t-shirt? Does anyone know what stabilizer is and why would you stabilize a t-shirt? So what I mean by that is for those who are making t-shirt quilts, I've seen a lot of people make t-shirt quilts, but they don't use stabilizer on the back of their t-shirts, and you find that your quilt is all like wobbly and stretchy, and you're wondering, why is it so stretchy? Is stabilizer, and I usually use 100% cotton. Oh, cool, Jana, that's awesome. Aren't you glad I'm saying your name right now? Oh my gosh. Okay, there's an end. I need that one. All right, got one more in, and just quickly, I think within, what is that? I think we did that in like maybe 10 minutes, guys. We got a strip done. And let me measure this strip, and if it's at least 75 inches long, then we'll be good. And I can show you how I do one row. All right, there's no blacking on that one. I have to put one. Oh, there's one. What am I thinking? Oh, cool. I see in the feeds someone's doing something nice. Awesome. You guys know I love when people give. It's my favorite thing. I know when I was doing the Saturday Night Live, the best part was giving the giveaways. I was like, I told you guys in the live that if anyone bought me a pizza, I would give everything else away for free. I was like wanting a pizza so bad. All right. As you guys can see, look at there. Now I'm going to take it over there and iron. As you guys can see, I'm going to move this. You'll see, I don't know if I can show you without losing my camera. See if I'll lose my camera. Hopefully I won't lose my camera. Let's see. Maybe you can see me iron. Let's see. I'm over there. I don't know if it's going to let me. But maybe I can move this over along with my iron, and you guys can see. I'll switch this over. My iron board broke, so I'm using a mat, and then I'm using a regular towel. My iron broke. That was like the worst thing. I'm like, I need my iron. I was so upset. So right here, I'm gonna take my scissors and clip whatever ends. And then I'm gonna iron these closed. It was like, oh, some people don't even use their iron. I haven't used my iron in a long time. The only time I ever use my iron is when I'm quilting. I can read what you guys are saying at the same time. Technology is awesome, I'm telling you. Technology is awesome. As you guys can see, I'm on my table that I do all my orders. Is everyone done Christmas shopping? I personally am not. I still got a whole bunch to do. But you know what? I have it easy because, you know, my grandboys are at a perfect age and they're so easy, and Amazon's awesome. So it's awesome. And my daughter Abby, she's easy. She likes anything handmade. She loves books like her mom. And even though some people are like, it's so hard to buy you anything, it's so hard. No, I'm pretty simple. Buy me anything sewing and books, and I'm happy. I'm not, if you ever come to my house, I'm like a minimalist. I don't like a whole lot of stuff. So like even my decorations, my husband, since he does all the cooking, of course I do the laundry and cleaning, but he does all the shopping, cooking, and I let him pick out all the decorations in the house. He can do any of the decor. I don't mind. I'm not bothered by it at all. And I love the partnership because, you know, I think it's hard as a woman, I know, to allow your spouse take over those certain things. But I'll tell you what, it's made our relationship so much better because I give him the trust, you know, and it's like a partnership. Like he'll do this, I'll do that. I love it. Now how you guys see how I'm ironing all at one time instead of sew, iron, sew, iron, sew, iron, back and forth. It will take so much time doing it that way. So this way I do all the pieces and I sew them closed, and then they're done. All right, let me measure this and see if it's at least 75 inches. That's my main goal. It's got to be at least 75. All right, and now you guys can see, since I have the camera moved, how I kind of iron them close them together. So now when I put the border and the sides, they will be sewn together, and I will back stitch on each and every one of these closures. So when I see the front of this, it's going to look so nice and flat on the front and flat on the back. So let me at least measure this. If anything, I'll just go ahead and finish this one. I don't have to, I just won't sew to the end in case I want to extend this later date so I don't waste this. So let me go ahead and put the camera back down to the sewing machine, hopefully, and move the iron. Okay, because I need you guys back at the machine. All right. Okay, is this my 2.5 inch? I think it is. Let me measure this. 1.5 inch, you think? Yeah. 1.5 inch. Okay, so my next piece is 1.5 inch. And what I'm gonna do, which I just changed my settings. Okay. So now, because I'm gonna do a border on both sides, and that's gonna be the negative strip kind of thing for this pattern to make it look like this right here, as you can see. Of course, 1/4 inch of this is going to be on the quilt, so it's not going to be that wide. But that is our goal. So what we're going to do, I can't wait to show you guys exactly how it's going to look on the quilt. So typically, when you put this on, you measure the length of this so then there's no stretch when you sew these together. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and sew it on together. I'm not going to start at the top because I want to add length to this later into a roll. So I'm going to start a little bit lower so then I can add the pieces to this and that to extend it. If that makes sense, anyone, I hope. Oh my gosh, if that made it a little easier for you to understand. All right, so when I sew this down, I want to make sure that this is closed before I go over it when I sew through. And I'm going to back stitch right there. I'm going to sew a little bit more, make sure this is closed, and I'm going to back stitch right there. So I'm going to be doing a whole lot of back stitching. Was that helpful for you guys? I hope. I know I'm being selfish. I'm actually doing something for myself tonight. This is my project. I could have picked something to where you guys can try to do yourself. But I had to get this done, but I figured might as well show you guys what I'm working on and yet chat with you guys. So anyone have suggestions on a project that you want to sew for Christmas? And maybe I can do that next Monday. I was picking a memory pillow, but if you guys, okay, I'm at the part where I need to backstitch. I was gonna do memory pillow, but if you guys like, I've seen really cute, what do they call that? Mug cozies. Has anyone ever heard of mug cozies? I've seen mug cozies that were really cute. Does anyone not know what a mug cozy is? Because I would love to tell you. They make I'll wait to see what you guys say. Hey Valerie, how you doing? All right, I got a routine here, guys. I just gotta go ahead and yeah. So I like the control of my back stitch. I don't want it to automatically back stitch. I want to know where I want it. How you doing, Valerie? What you up to? You knit mug cozies? Okay, so I can tell you what a mug cozy is. So pretty much it's like either a 5x5 or a 6x6. Sometimes they are more rectangular than they are square, and they are a quilted piece, like it's a mini quilt, but for just your mug. And you could do like a set of 4. And I was thinking about doing Christmas themed. So then you guys can, follow along. I'll make them and then I'll give them away that night, whomever is watching. And then at least those who watch, you can know how to make them. So if you want to watch that video over again, you can make them yourself, kind of thing. But I figured at least I can teach you how to do a mug cozy for those who are coffee or tea lovers. What do you guys think? You think that'd be fun? A set of 4, like maybe one's a Christmas tree, maybe one is a house. I don't know. There's so many different designs. Pinterest has so many ideas and quick patterns that I can pick that are free and teach you guys how to make them. And I'll just give them away, like the set of 4 that night, or individually, I think probably individually at least, because it'd be fair with 4 different winners or something. I don't know. If you guys think yes, say yeah, or nay. No. I'm open for suggestions. Definitely something simple, easy, and fun. You guys also, for those who don't have a sewing machine, you can do it without a sewing machine, and you're probably wondering how. There is awesome glues out there, like tacky, like fabric glue, that you can use and make them if you don't have a sewing machine. It's like no stitch glue, which is really, really cool. So this takes a little bit, but I just want to make sure that I do that with every one of those closures. For one, when I sandwich this quilt together, the last thing I want to do is those seams to pull up. And it also is going to help the person that I send this to do the long arm service to when they're doing that design on the top of the quilt, it's not going to bulk. I want it flat as possible. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm making sure it's closed. It takes a little bit, but it's worth it in the end. I want it flat. So you guys think yes. Candy, you're familiar with mug cozies, aren't you? Candy is Burn Swag, everyone. Hey, Candy. I know she's familiar with soup cozies, right? Spool cozies or something. But, or whatever you call those, but cozies are fun. I think so too, Rose. And they're a great gift for the holidays. And yeah. So I'll look around, guys. So then next Monday, I would just do a tutorial on a set of 4 of holiday mug cozies. And you guys can follow along, give them away, and maybe someone can learn how to make a mug cozy for someone for Christmas. I think a set of 4 Christmas ones would be cool. I think one definitely has to be a Christmas tree. I don't know if we can do any, I mean, I'm trying to do it to where you use nothing but a sewing machine and not doing an applique. But I guess we could do appliques. Does anyone not know what an applique is? Hey, is Kim in the house? Wait, Kim's been here though, right? All right, we're getting to the end, at least one end. Making sure that's closed good. We're almost there, guys. And then you'll see the film strip. I can't wait to show you guys what the quilt will look like. Right now, you can't really see what I'm doing it this way. Bowl cozies, yes, for her daughter. Does anyone know what a bowl cozy is? But the bowls are definitely like the shape of a bowl. But at least a mug cozy is flat, like a little mini quilt. But I know I could definitely do Christmas tree. I'm trying to think of other designs that would be easy enough, but yet quiltable. Pinterest is amazing, guys. Definitely for sure. So Candy, you just entered the room. We are doing, this is an example of, but I'm doing the film strip rolls, getting them ready for Abby's t-shirt quilt for the Walking Dead t-shirt quilt. So that's what we're doing. So I'm finishing up one of the sides, one of 2 sides. Usually I do this in one large roll and I roll it up, but I'm just trying to at least show you guys what I'm doing tonight. And then you guys have an idea. Yes. Well, no, Candy, you could, far as the mug cozies, you don't even need a sewing machine. You can use fabric tacky glue. So just saying. All right, one side's done. I'm not going to iron yet. I'm just going to get the trim for the opposite side. What I'll be doing is ironing that this way. As you can see, obviously 1/4 of an inch of this trim is going to be sewn into the quilted side of the quilt. So it won't be as wide. I just got to do the other side now. So let me go ahead and grab another strip really quick. I need to cut 1.5 inches of the black. I think it was 1.5 inches, wasn't it? Let me remeasure that just in case. Yes, 1.5 inches. I don't want to do it wrong, guys. Okay, so I'm going to take this other side. Oops, I guess I could cut this a little bit. Now, even though I did sew to the end, I'll probably unstitch that because I'm going to be doing this length longer later. Right now, I'm just trying to show you a tutorial kind of thing. But I just realized I did that. Whoops. That's funny. Hey, Robin, how you doing? We're making the film strip rolls for the Abby's Walking Dead t-shirt quilt. So I'm in your face, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna put the other side like that. You're probably wondering, oh, you're gonna accidentally sew into the other thing. I won't. I have plenty of room, kind of thing. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to sew that all the way down, and then we'll iron it open, guys, and you'll see exactly what one of those film strips look like. And I'll show you some of the t-shirts that I've already used the fusible iron-on fabric for the backs of those t-shirts. So I'll show you the t-shirts I have so far and what I need to do to the other ones. So, all right, guys, let me sew this up really quick. Does anyone have questions? I know this is a little bit more advanced sewing, but again, like I said, when I got on for live for sewing, I was just selfishly doing my project. If you have any questions, I am more than happy to answer them. When it comes to quilting questions about, hey, what do I do to my bobbin and all that stuff, this is a good time to ask. All right, I need to put that needle down. I forgot to fold that. Fold it under. I want it flat. I'm taking extra steps for this because I want this quilt to lay flat for the person doing the long arm service. So I'm doing a little bit more extra work than some would do. But this film strip, I do not want it to stretch in future washings on our quilt. So my goal is to make sure it's laying flat as possible. And I'm back stitching every one of those fold sections, those seam folds. And I'm not pulling, as I'm putting this strip of fabric down, I am not pulling the fabric. Yes, I do. I use pins when I'm doing, say if I'm doing a granny square quilt or let's see here. If I'm doing a pinwheel quilt, when you need to make sure certain points need to meet. But these sewing sections are so close together that I can just actually use my hands. Yeah, I could probably save some time by pinning, but it takes time to pin every section. So, I mean, I'm actually cutting my time by just doing it this way. Time is everything, guys. At least in my world, you know, I don't have a whole lot of time to sew. Yeah, I could probably pin them, but that takes time. And being the fact that these sections are so close together, I don't really need to. I just lay it flat, make sure it lays flat. Yeah, sometimes you can get really overboard pinning, and pinning sometimes could be more of an issue than a help. So Rachel's in the house. Rachel, we were just talking about you, hun. In a good way. You have the long arm machine. This quilt here, I was going to talk with you sometime tomorrow to see if you're still open to doing any long arm service. Right now I'm working on the Walking Dead t-shirt quilt for my daughter. And which I'll stop sewing here soon. I'm sure the sewing part can be annoying to some people. But trying to get this last fold down, and then I can iron it and show you guys what the film strip looks like, or the negative strip film strip looks like. But yeah, so I'm needing it to be done. Now I'll tell you what, I've been having the hardest time trying to find a fabric backing for this quilt, because I was hoping to find, if anyone knows that I've looked, but there might be someone who knows. I'm looking for a barbed wire. Is anyone familiar with barbed wire? Well, if anyone's watched the show Walking Dead, a lot of people haven't because they don't like gore and stuff like that. But barbed wire is a big part of like the show. You know, like barbed wire is like everywhere, fences and stuff like that. It would be cool to find a barbed wire fabric for the back of this quilt. I mean, I just don't know what else to pick for the back of this quilt. That or red is the second thought. But I want a backing of a quilt, and Rachel, you probably may agree with me. Anyone who gets long arm service done, anyone doing a quilt, the backing of the quilt, you want to have some kind of pattern, you know, on it. A solid color sometimes is just too solid. You want some kind of design in that fabric. Like it's solid. If it's solid red, you want like a red details in it, like squirrels or something. But yeah, Rose, I looked online and I couldn't find. I'm needing something that is wide. And to be quite honest with you, when you find a patterns like barbed wire, you have to, you know, it's probably 44 inches wide. Well, I want it at least 65 inches wider, 65 inches or wider. And it's hard to piece two pieces of 44-inch fabrics together, especially barbed wire, because then you'll see where it's not matching. You know what I mean? So I'm having a hard time finding a wide fabric with a pattern like that. I guess is what I should have started out saying. Definitely, that is my issue. So, all right, so over here, as you can see, what do you think, Candy, of my handy dandy second camera? This is what it looks like before I iron it open. Look at it, and it's something how it's a solid piece of white and then a solid piece of black, but not really, because when I open it up, there's my film strip. It's like almost like when you quilt, it's almost like a puzzle. It's really, really cool. But so I guess if I taught you anything tonight, I taught you your seams, how to fold them over, iron them, and sew them closed to where they're not bulky, especially when I'm using white fabric and black fabric. Last thing I want on my white fabric is the black seam showing through the front of it. So, and I don't want no bulk. Like for instance, Rachel, if she does this quilt on her long arm machine, the last thing I want is a bulky back. You know, when she's putting that machine, I want my fabric on, you know, in the middle to be flat. I don't want any of these seams popping up on her and catching a needle kind of thing. So let me iron this and I'll be right back. Barbed wire. Yeah, I would like to find it, but it would have to be a wide fabric. And good luck to me trying to find a wide print like that. Rachel, are you familiar with a wide print fabric like that? What did you do? Just read what you said. That's so funny. I know. Come on, Lucy, help me. Am I asking the impossible? It seems like I'm always wanting something that's kind of hard to obtain, but I usually find it. But the thing is, if I found two, you know, 45-inch wide barbed wire print, it's going to be very hard for me to piece it down the middle to make it wide enough to fit the back of the quilt. You know what I mean? All right, let me iron this really quick open. Yeah, I'm just hoping to find, I'm thinking after you guys see the front of the quilt done, I think then we could talk more about backing colors. But I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what I want to do for the back of the quilt. Whatever it is, if it's like a red color, it has to have some kind of color like print in it, like a red squirrel or something. But I want it to go with the theme of the quilt though. You know, I don't want it girly. Okay. Here you guys go. Now you can see what I got going on here. Now, obviously, this is not going to be that wide, and I'll show you why. Let me grab some of the t-shirts. You guys like my film strip, or I should say the bottom of the negative, right? I'll show you the negative. We'll get there. We'll get there. I agree, Lucy. It's very hard. Okay, for those who didn't see some of the t-shirts that I have, I'll try to avoid the bloody ones for you. But just keep in mind that it doesn't have to be a Walking Dead film strip t-shirt quilt. It could be, you know, a family photo t-shirt or a t-shirt quilt that is, say, Dr. Seuss for a child or, you know. Okay, so let me get out two of the squares. So each square, each negative, those who knows what a negative is, it's gonna be a 12-inch by 12. Well, it's 12.5-inch square, but after the seam, it's gonna be 12 by 12. But here, let me see what I can do here. Let me get two different ones. Let's do this white one, and let me pick a red one. Let me pick a different white one. All right, I'm trying not to pick a gory one for you guys. Okay, anyone here not into gore? Because I really don't want to show you gore unless you seriously are okay with it. Here, I'll pick a red one. There we are. I'll do a red one. Okay. Close your eyes if you don't like gore. All right, so here we go. I'll show you guys what I mean. I wonder if I can get this camera. Let me zoom it up some here for you guys. I'm going to raise it up. Maybe we can do this. Thank you. Thank you. My daughter and I both do too, but not everyone is for Walking Dead. All right, so I can hopefully show you guys what I mean. We can do this, guys. All right, so this will be like this. Obviously, we're going to close this seam by a quarter of an inch. There we go. Let me get the top one. Where'd my top one go that I worked on earlier? Now I don't have a long enough piece to show you for the top, but the top's going to have the same thing. Hope you guys can kind of see. Oh, I wish I made that longer to show you guys. So then you have the top, and this is going to be a negative, obviously, like a film strip. You'll see the best way I can put it. Hang on, I'm getting there. Let me get 2 strips here. You guys see it happening? It's coming together. You'll see what I see. Give me a second. Let me get these strips here for you. All right. I'm kind of piecing it together so you guys can kind of see what I mean. All right, this is going to go right down the middle. Let me see if I can pick this fabric up. I'm kind of piecing it together for you to show you. Obviously, this is not sewn together. Just want to show you. There we are. Hopefully, I'm getting it, guys. We'll make this happen. Just going to lay it out so you kind of see it. And then put this over here because this is going to be like a quarter of an inch down. There we go. You guys seeing it happening? Okay, but this film clip is going to be over here too. I just didn't make that one long. So it's going to be every middle is going to be like that. And then you just put on the next one. As you can see here, I'll grab another one. Here we go, like he will be here with a black piece down the middle. Next time, guys, I'll have a different table thing going on for you. Of course, it won't be pieced like this, guys. I'm just trying to show you the best I can what the design is like. Do you guys kind of get what I'm talking about now? It'll look, but with strips. Thank you. It's going to look really good. And then it's going to be a whole quilt like that. So each row is going to have, as if it's like a movie playing out kind of thing. Sorry, guys, about the the blood. I could. The fusible fabric that I use, Lucy, is cotton. You can get it pretty much in any craft store, but it's all cotton. I use 100% cotton as if it's more fabric. Well, it sounded like my shop name, didn't it? AmourFabriQues. But it's 100% cotton fusible by Pellin. It's shape flex, iron on, and it's a woven cotton interfacing. It's permanent stability too. You know, some fusible like stabilizer you get, it peels right off. This will be permanent. I only buy permanent. I don't like the peeling kind because what if I put it in the wash machine and the backing starts coming off in the inside and it's just going to bulk inside that quilt and it's the last thing I want to happen. Yes. So that's the idea. So you guys get kind of idea. Of course, the strip keeps going and going and going, but I wanted to at least show you, like, you know what I mean, how it's going to kind of look. You know, that obviously is going to be up like there, like that. So at least now you know, but I do this in a roll. So what I do is You guys talk about snippet rolls. Here's my film strip roll. So all I do is I keep rolling it and rolling it and rolling it until I use it. And every time I have another row to do, I put it on there. Because this part of the quilt is easy. I just take this first square, I sew on that, and then I sew that piece to that piece, that piece to that piece. This is a row in itself. And all I have to do with my film strip roll is attach that to that and go to the next row, kind of thing. Yeah, I designed this myself. This quilt. I've made many of them, but I've done Star Wars and other ones, but this one here is different. It's Walking Dead, obviously, but her quilt, I designed the film strip to at least be a little bit wider. The last ones I've made in the past, these were smaller, and I think this pops out better. You know, after obviously a 1/4 of an inch of it goes away. I think you can see that it is a film negative better. Don't you think? So, yeah, but Lucy, you can get that fusible cotton interfacing by the yard on a bolt. So you don't have to buy it in a package like I shown you, but the store I went to ran out of it, so I had to buy it in that packaging. It gets kind of pricey. But I'm going to show you guys the quilts, the squares I have so far. I'm going to kind of go lower this down. Let's see how low we can go. And I'll show you the squares for her quilt so far. Obviously, you've seen that one. A lot of you guys are like, ew. That's grossy. That's my goal, Rose. That was my goal. So pretty much The Walking Dead is a huge, long series. So I picked out, we have shirts. These are all t-shirts. They're backed with that cotton stabilizer. If you've never seen me do it in my YouTube channel, under sewing, there's like down below is all the sewing like tabs. You could click on one of the videos tabs, and down below will be part 1, part 2 on this, on how I stabilized each square and how I cut them out, how I figured out how I want the picture to be. But part 1, part 2 is there, but tomorrow I'll be filming part 3. So that's why I'm doing this, because I wanted to at least have a strip done and ready. So when I show the tutorial in a video tomorrow, it's ready to go for those who have been waiting for part 3. And my quilters have been waiting for part 3 for some time now. So now they'll have part 3. Now the quilt pattern that I am doing, I will have in my shop the pattern that you can purchase. I'm not sure if it's going to be between $3 or $5. I'm not sure. But it'll have the measurements and everything on how to do the strip and how to make and fuse. And then you have those tutorials step by step that you can press play and, you know, pause whenever you need to, kind of thing. And again, you don't have to do, of course, Walking Dead. You can do any. But isn't that cool, though? How the cotton stabilizer is like as if it's a piece of cotton itself on back. And being the fact that these pieces are so large, they're 12 by 12, you know, I don't want them to shift and move. But I'm not too worried because I'm going to have long arm service done. So I'm not worried. Thank you. Thank you. That's true. Just wait, guys. At the very end of when I make her quilt, I will be making a fabric envelope that will go on the back of the quilt that opens up. And inside will be a fabric letter that will pop out for her. And on that letter will be, I have a lady who does like printed like fabric letters. Like if I write a letter, it'll be printed on that fabric, and I'll have it folded inside that fabric envelope for her. But let me show you the pieces I got for the squares. I made sure that the t-shirts that I picked were of a lot of colors. Like there's white, there's like a blue print, red, because I didn't want the quilt to be just one color kind of thing. But these are the ones I have so far that I've already fused and are ready to go. And then look at that one. Crazy. Here's where most of the characters are at. I tried finding the characters of the show, The Walking Dead, and a lot of them. Here's this one. Now the ones I still have to work on. are these ones right here. And the thing about t-shirts, as you can see the difference here, I'm going to show you the difference. I don't know if I'm too close. Look how flimsy t-shirts are. I mean, they're just so thin, see? And they stretch and they're kind of see-through-ish, you know. So what I have to do is I take that, actually I could show you guys now if you want me to, I could show you. But I want them to be stiff. I want them to last a long time when I quilt it together. I don't want them to move. I want them to be an exact 12 by 12 inch square when I'm done sewing it in. And so yeah, I want to make sure this quilt lasts a long time kind of thing. But anyone who watches Walking Dead, this is a good picture. I can't wait to iron on. Anyone want to see me how I fuse this and cut it? Because I can show you. Let me know, yes or no. But these pieces here are different because those who use t-shirts, they're not exactly, the picture you're trying to get out of the t-shirt may not be the right size. So some of these t-shirts were kind of big. And so I had to move them over here and I'll show you. I have these t-shirts, which I still need to stabilize, but the reason why they're like this is I still got to sew them together. See, I had to cut this one, like this t-shirt here. I had to cut it because it said the good, the bad, or something like that. And it was too big to make into a 12 by 12. So I cut it. I really wanted him and I wanted him in the picture. And so I cut the good. And of course, he's the bad, those who watch the show. So I need to fuse these as soon as I sew these two together. So I need to first sew these two together, and then I'll iron on the back of it, and then I'll cut out the 12.5 by 12.5. Okay, let me at least show you how to fuse one together, and then I'll show you how I piece together a t-shirt for the quilt. How do I use it? You know, it's how is that stretchy thing, and how am I going to put that together? I'll show you what I do, kind of thing. For those who are interested, some people may think this is boring as heck, you know, but I'll put this aside. I'll show you that. But I have this one. I'll show you what I have so far. I have this one I got to piece together. I've already cut him. I've already got him ready. No, he's ready. He needs just to be fused. Let me fuse him. The next one I got to sew together. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. This is 12.5 by 12.5. No, the Hungry. Let me get I have a piece that fell. I've had these in a pile. What are you? Okay, he needs to be fused, sorry. So him, I'm not sure what happened here. Oh, I was figuring out what I wanted on this one. That's how this t-shirt went. Okay, this was the good, the bad, the hungry. That's Walking Dead for you guys, right there. The good, the bad, the ugly. That's what this huge t-shirt said, right? I mean, it was like huge. I'm like, how do I make that into a square? But I'm going to cut it up to where I can make two different squares. I'm not sure if I want to I think I'm going to do the good and the bad. I mean, after I put these guys together, let's see what my square does. All right, this is a 12.5 by 12.5 inch square. It's showing me that I can only possibly put 2 in. And I need to move him down. The good, the bad is what I'm going to have to do, and then move him up. Yikes. So that's what it looks like it's going to possibly be. I think it's going to be the good and the bad, and I'm going to cut those two together. The hungry, I'm not sure. He's going to go to something later. I'm going to keep him, though. I always keep everything just in case. But I got to sew them together. What's this one? Oh, here's another one I got a piece. This here is that sweat dry t-shirt. I mean, it's the worst to work with. But I really like these two. Eugene, right, guys? Those who watch Walking Dead, that's Eugene, I think, right? And that's Rick's son. So I think this is this my 12.5 by 12.5? No, not yet. I got to fuse this. But It will work, but I'm not going to cut this anymore. I usually, when I do my cut of the t-shirt, I make sure it's extra, because when I fuse it, I want to make sure I have enough room before I cut it. I just wanted those two characters and that one, so that one needs to be fused. This one needs to be cut together. All right, so I got Rick. Of course, I got Daryl. Daryl's my favorite. Eugene and Carl. Thank you, Carl. I knew it was Carl. It's been a while since I watched it. There's Daryl. It's my favorite. There he is again, too. Okay, so this one here, I probably am going to turn and bring it up, something like that, but to where I'm not getting his head. I'll figure it somehow, some way. I'm not sure. To where I got to sew it and then try to put these guys in frame. Like that. Kind of see where I got? Yes, I know, Negan. I wonder, I think I have Negan here somewhere. All right, so I got to put those two together. What do you guys think? I think that'll look good. I get a few more characters. If you guys can see the zombies. This would have been a good Halloween quilt to work on, guys. You know, you see the zombies and stuff in the background. My daughter's going to love it. I got to piece that one together. What's this one? Ah, that's right. This is another one of those sweat dry t-shirts. I'm having it's going to be, you're like, how do you put that into a quilt? It's so stretchy and stuff, but that fusible stuff is awesome. Now, I really wanted the tiger in this really, really bad. But I wanted her in this too. Okay, what was her name again? I forgot her name. I like her. I don't think I have her in anything else. I forgot her name. Oh my God, it's been a while. Let me see if I have her in somewhere else. If I don't, I will piece her in like this somehow, some way. And then to the square somehow. Like I could probably put the tiger, obviously. I could probably move her over like that. Let's see here. Let me get my square. See if I can get them in. I can get them in. If I move her over, I can put her into the square. Okay, Magone. That's her name. Magone. I forgot her name. But look at, I can get her in there if I do that. So I think I'll probably do that. But again, I like him too. But he's not really shown in any of them. Yeah, so I got some cutting to do on that one. See, not all shirts are equal, guys. This is just extra. I'm not sure I'm going to do with him yet. Again, I got another one of these. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. I got to figure out how I'm going to piece people in on that one. All right. Oh, here you go, Lucy. You probably like this one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, my gosh. Negan. I thought I had Negan. I guess I don't. Maybe I need to find him. Maybe I had to buy one of him. I don't. Negan. I got to have Negan, don't I? Oh, hey, there she is. I found her. Never mind. This is a good one. There she is. Never mind. I don't have to piece her in. Look at that one. Isn't that crazy? Anyone? I mean, I'm sure there's only a handful of people here who watch this. Oh my gosh. They're probably like, what the hey? Lucille, thank you. Yeah, isn't that a good one? That's a really good one. Now it needs to fuse. But Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo was awesome. But I thought I had Negan. I guess I don't. I gotta find a Negan t-shirt, guys. We have Carol. You know, I wanted to originally do a Carol one with, she like likes to bake cookies, you know. But Negan, there's Negan. I think that'll do. What do you guys think? At least he's on the skull, and there's Negan right in the middle. But Negan, he's only in it for so long. I just wanted to get the main characters. You know, Negan was a very pivotal moment, you know, especially with that baseball bat. But maybe it's good he's not like a big, huge picture kind of thing. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I got to fuse him. Okay, so these are the sewers. I can sew last, but let me show you how I fuse. Let me get my iron over here really quick for you guys. Let me move these guys out of the way. Okay, let me get my iron. So I wonder if my daughter, Abby, are you in the room here? I'm curious. Sometimes I wonder if she lurks. She already knows I'm making it for her. So, all right, my iron board broke. Okay, so if anyone knows what I'm needing, help. So I am going to use this. It's a mat. Let's see here. What can I do? Let me move the camera a little. And then I put a towel on it. I'm doing the old-fashioned way. My iron board broke. And then do with what we have, right? This will work. As long as I have it flat for fusing, that's all I care about. Watch out for the fuzzy wuzzies. And then I can move him back in. There we go. That's all that matters. There we go. All right. Like I said, this usually comes in yardage. But like I said, they were out of it. So I had to buy it in these packages, which was so expensive. It was just crazy. I should just go online and buy it in a bolt. Buy the whole bolt. Okay, so here's the fusible stuff. For those who don't know, see how it looks just like fabric? Fusible iron-on fabric is, you'll know the sticky side by feel. It's got like this grainy feel sticky side, and the other side is the soft side. Obviously, the sticky side is the side you want the piece to actually iron on, right? So obviously the sticky side needs to be the center. And I put the t-shirt right on. I use as much as I can. Put it right on there, lay it as flat as possible. Now, heads up for those who are not familiar with the iron, you can't just iron onto decal type of prints, because if you put the iron on there, it's plastic and it's going to melt, and it's going to melt right onto your iron. What not to do? Well, I would have to say I've done it in the beginning when I didn't even know. Now, I'm not going to iron this on yet. And you're probably wondering why. I want to take my template, my 12.5 by 12.5. I want to make sure it's going to be on what I want. So this here, I need to cut out, is what my cutout's going to be. So I don't want to waste this fusible piece here. So I'm just going to move this t-shirt down a little bit, because I want to save as much of this fusible stuff as possible, because it is expensive. So I'm going to move that over, flatten as much as possible again. That was your worry? Oh my gosh, girl. I know I'm ditzy, but not that ditzy. All right, so I'm going to check this out and see where I'm at. Awesome. And I'm going to, just to be on the safe side, where's my scissors? Because I don't want to waste any fusible fabric. I'm going to go up here as much as I can and cut it off, because I don't want the iron to touch it, because I don't want to waste it. Just going to cut that off, move it aside. All right, now that looks good to me. All right, so what I do is I take one of these prints that doesn't have any plastic or anything on it, because this is the exact size. It's already cut to where I want it. And I'm just going to place it where on top of that print of where I want it to be. I'm going to turn it over in case, because who knows, sometimes an iron can have something on it you don't want to be on it. And I know this is kind of where I'm going to iron over this even further out just in case, but I'm going to iron on that to protect that plastic on the opposite side. So I'm going to do that next. Now the iron has been hot for a while, and I'm not going to let it sit, because the last thing I want is that plastic underneath to get on my nice print. I just lay it on top here. just enough to where I just go across little by little, let it have time to cool, and just keep going. You want it to fuse. That's the main goal. I put it on high. I do cotton because it is cotton. Or parchment. That works too. If you have it. I don't have it on hand. You like my idea, Lucy? Because I know exactly where I need to iron now, right? You know, so I mean, where I need my cut to be. So at least I know where it's at, and I know how far to iron, what really needs to be ironed, that is. It fuses really good. I'm not a huge fan of the iron-on, like a fusible iron plastic stuff, or they got it like in a paper kind too. It just rips, unless you don't mind it ripping. But I don't want something that's going to rip off inside my quilts. I want it to last. So cotton is I'm a fan of cotton. So I'm going to let that fuse really good. Yeah. You get what you pay for. Do it right. I mean, yeah, you can make a t-shirt quilt without fusing, but your best bet is to fuse if you want it to last a long time. Okay, I think I just about got it, guys. I'll go a little bit longer because I have a fabric on top. Sometimes I need a little bit more heat. Thank you guys for watching. Quilting to me is fun and relaxing. Especially I can put, make something that is a memory for my daughter. She absolutely loves this show. And I mean, I made it, you know, it's going to be an awesome gift for her. I'm hoping to surprise her. Yeah, I agree, Lucy. You're a quilter too, so you kind of know what I mean. You want cotton. Okay, let's see how it works. I'm sure it's fine. All right, this guy is this guy. Let's move him aside. All right. We're looking good. Now that it's like that, I can turn him and I can work the back now. Now that I don't have no other fabric. And we want to make sure all these bubbles are out. And the thing with decals like this has a tendency to bubble. You know, we don't want it to bubble up. So turning it over like this and ironing again makes it nice and smooth. This gives me the chance to make sure this square is going to be smooth as, well, butter. We want it to be smooth. We want it taut. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Look how smooth it's looking so far. No wrinkles. I think so, Rose. Don't get me wrong. You guys are going to watch me finish this to the end. Rachel, looks like she came and gone. I don't know if she said that she can do it or not. Sorry, guys, about the flicker. That's got to be annoying. I don't know what else to do. I checked my settings for anti-flicker. I clicked on that on my camera. I think what it is just the lighting above, and no matter what I do, yeah, so I take my time on these. Yeah, I can go faster doing this ironing, but I want to make sure each one of these are done right. All right, I think I'm good. So there's that one. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how I cut it. I guess I can keep ironing unless you guys want me to iron on the next ones. But I think I'm just going to cut this one and kind of show you kind of thing. I guess I'll iron one more and then we'll cut them. So you can kind of see what I mean. So I don't cut them until after I iron on the fusible type of fabric. So, all right, let me let that cool down. Let me get another one really quick. Maybe the feeds went by fast and I didn't read them. Does anyone know if she said anything? I guess I could call her tomorrow. So I think it'd be fun to do a video of how it's done. And then you guys can see if you ever want to get long arm service done by Rachel, you can. All right, same thing with this one. I'm going to check my template just in case to see if I can move this over. And I think I'm going to leave it where it's at. Just in case. I think I might move this top just a little bit on the safe side. Okay, I need to get that shirt again. I'm just going to lay it right on top of this one. Make sure that's flat. Just to be on the safe side. And then iron that on. Okay, let me read the feeds and iron at the same time. Oops, I better cut that. I'm like so big about not wasting. So I want to make sure I cut that off. Because the last thing I want to do is that iron to go onto this and I waste all that nice fusible. So I'm just going to go right up here. Cut that right off. I don't want to waste. Okay. What did Rachel say? Are you in your room, baby? I am in and out packing you up. Oh, what do I need? I was going to see, how are you doing, Rachel, on your orders for long arm service? I know Christmas is coming, and I'm sure it's your busy time of the year for your long arm. So are you taking orders? If I get this done in a week, are you able to do long arm service? Am I able to ship it to you, say priority, so it's fast? How do you have a line of orders that you're doing right now? Is there not enough time? Just curious. Because if not, I'll just ship it. I have a friend where I used to live who did do long arm service. And do you have barbed wire pattern like on your machine? Because if I get a red print backing, I can do, if you have a barbed wire like pattern, I can do that. Or chicken wire or fence pattern. Oops, I gotta read the feed. Sorry, guys. You said, should it cool before you cut it? Yep, already on it, Rose. I put it aside to let it cool. I am out about 2 weeks. Yes, I could if you ship it to me. If I want it by Christmas. You know, it doesn't have to be by Christmas. My daughter, she's 18, and if I told her it's running late, she will be fine. She's easy peasy like her mom. Yeah, as long as it's done. Like I said, I think I started this a few Christmases ago. I think 3 to be exact. And I keep putting it aside, do a little bit, put it aside. I think part of it is because I was buying t-shirts for this. And they are pricey and hard to find. Does anyone else know what I mean about Walking Dead? They're hard to find. Whoopsie, sorry the screen, guys. Went crazy on you. Chicken wire or barbed wire, I think. Oh, gosh. Yeah, if you can send me a picture of the pattern, because that would help me. Cause it'd be easy for me to find a fabric. Like, say if I get a gray, I'm thinking a gray fabric with a design in it, like swirls or something that's not too noticeable. But if I get the pattern of barbed wire, I think it might look good. I'm thinking gray. But I guess once I finish the top, we'll determine the color of the backing, is what I'm thinking. I was going to go red, but I think red is going to be too much. This was my worry. I'm going to turn it and see what happens. This is a sweat dry shirt. Sometimes you have to turn it and work on the back. I'm hoping it sticks. I'm worried. I don't want that to come up. So I'm going to definitely work a lot of this on the back and just hold it. Yeah, like a gray would be nice. That's what I'm thinking. I think black attracts everything from fuzzies. So if you have a quilt, the last thing you want is a black backing. So I'm thinking gray. I think red is just too much. I think red is just too bold. I want something that's gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Red is just, I think it might be too much. I was thinking red is like blood for the theme, but I think too much red is too much. Yeah, so Rachel, I'm looking for a very wide, you know, like we can get fabric wide from 60, 70, or I think I probably might go for 110-inch wide fabric that I can get online. And I can order it and see how it looks. But I can put it all together, the top, the quilts, the batting, and send it. And I usually hand stitch my binding, the border of my quilt. I do not sew my border. That's my favorite part. And I will hand stitch it in front of every, you know, on video for you guys. I love that part. It is so relaxing. It is like my favorite thing. It's like a signature. Baseball bats. Don't they use those? Yeah, baseball bats is good, but I just don't want Negan to be the focal point of the quilt, you know? For some reason, he's like big about walking down. He is, but I just wanted to be the backing to finish off the main theme of the storyline, not a character. Does that make sense? All right, I think this hopefully made a difference by doing the back this way. So Rachel, I was thinking if I go live next Monday, because since you're a quilter as well, I was thinking about doing mug cozies, you know, like miniature quilts for your coffee cups and stuff. You know, you put it right on there. It's like a hot pad pretty much for your coffee cup. I was thinking about doing a set of 4 live and giving them away. But wouldn't it be cool if, you know, you were on live with me? I know I'm putting you on the spot. We could talk about it later. You don't have to say nothing now. But I was thinking of doing, like, say, a Christmas tree design is very easy. Something to where it's no sew. I mean, I'm going to sew it, but people who have, like, fusible, like, not fusible, fusibles in my brain. Those who use tacky glue to quilt things together, they can follow along with tacky glue. What do you think? Yeah, I think so, because Christmas tree, Rachel, you know, is easy to quilt with. Okay, guys, see, it made it easier. I had to turn it like, so now you guys know the sweat dry shirts, they fuse better when you do it from the back. But I at least wanted it the front to do it this way first, just so then I know I got it on there before I turned it. But I'm going to give this a go one more time. I've been watching too much British TV. I'm going to give this a go. Oh my gosh. Give us a go. Okay, sorry. Anyone else watch British TV? I love British TV. They have the best storylines. I mean, like, I'm not dissing America's storylines, but I mean, oh, give us a go. Oh my gosh. We can do Sunday or Tuesday. Let's just do Sunday. And I can still do my Monday Night Live as well. Yeah, let's chat, Rachel. And then I'm thinking Christmas tree mug rug. I'm thinking something simple like that. Okay, let's let that one cool. Let's cut these 2 guys and see what we got. I know I still got to do these, but I can do these on another day. I don't want to bore you too much. All right, let this one cool. The other one's done and ready. Let me move my fancy dancy iron board. Sorry, guys. I need to get an iron board. Note to self, Selena, buy an iron board tomorrow. All right, that works. All right, I'm gonna turn this. I made that side all sweaty. Last thing I want. All right, so the first one that I had already fused, as you can see, is like that. So what I want to do next is take my handy dandy stencil and figure out how do I want this to center. I don't mind, and this here is my border, so my 1/4 inch border, so I know. I want to make it even, so let me look at this closer to me. Let's see here. How do I want that to go? It's going to have to look something, and I want it not to be crooked. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Got the bat as much as I can in there. There we go. I think that's how it's going to have to go. So I got it where I want it. I'm going to put my hand there and let me get my rotary tool. And I hold where I want it, and let me double check again. Make sure. Yeah, I think that's where I want it. Not too sure. Let me go over a little bit more. I didn't fuse it all, which I can fuse there if I have to. It's stretched on me. But I'm not even going to see that. Move it back over. Sorry, guys, I'm focusing here on where I want it to go. We're good. Okay, so I finally got where I want it. That's one thing I love about these stencils. It centers where you want it. And this is the defining moment. I'm going to cut this guy out. I am not going to pull or tug. I'm going to let it do its thing. Do not pull. Wait till it totally cuts off. You do not pull. Last thing you want to do is pull your work out. There you go. And this is a brand new blade. What's going on here? Oh, it's a t-shirt corner. There's that side. This is a weird angle with my camera, guys. I'm going to have to get in front of you. Woo! Sorry, hit the camera. I wasn't planning on doing this. Ooh, I didn't want it to move. This is usually easier, but guys, I'm on a really bad angle. All right, I'm going to get behind the camera. This is hilarious. And I always keep my extra pieces just in case. You never know, guys. Like pieces like this that I already fused. I keep it. I might need it to piece something, so I hold on to it. Never know. All right, now I can put some muscle into this. Let's see what we got here. And there we go, guys. We got Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. See how that did it? This gives character that it is part of the t-shirt, which is cool. I love that. And all I do, there it is. Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo is that piece. Perfectly square, ready to go. Should quilt in what you're doing. There's that one. All right, let's check out this one. See what we got here. Let me read the feeds really quick. Okay, let me see here. Sunday's perfect. Yep. Oh, cool. That's cool, Lucy. Oh, that is interesting. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Hey, Maddie, how you doing, hon? How you doing? Yes, they are. I know. That's not cool, Lucy. Oh my God, that's funny. That is awesome, Lucy. Oh, what am I working on? Oh, you joined in. Okay, so it's a t-shirt quilt. That is a film strip t-shirt quilt that I've designed. I've done many t-shirt quilts, but this one's a film strip, and I've done many of them too, except this one is designed for my daughter. So let me check my battery really quick. Okay, sorry, I had to plug my computer in. Yeah, so I'll show you here after I cut this what it's going to look like, you know, per row kind of thing. We made the film strip already. It's like a negative film strip, Walking Dead t-shirt quilt. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rose. Yes. No, not for Holly. It's for my daughter, Abby. She loves Walking Dead. All right, let me turn this so I can see it because I want to make sure this is square as possible. And let's see what we can do here. Let's see. It's going to have white on the sides. Looking good. This comes down a little bit. And I think I got it. Let me go ahead and get my cutter and let's cut this one, guys. So what I'm doing, honey, is I am fusing cotton fabric on the back of t-shirts. So when I cut my t-shirt squares out, they are not going to be stretchy at all. Well, they're not at all, I should say, because they are cotton, you know, and the cotton backing's cotton. This I have to turn when we get done. Sorry, the angle. I didn't expect to be cutting live tonight, guys, but at least I can show you now what I got going. All right, then move my head down here. All right, how did it turn? That did good. This one, I have to work on that edge. So the awkward thing, or the hard thing, I should say, about t-shirts is trying to get everything square in the square. You know, it's you do the best you can and make it even as possible. And that's what I had to do with this. At least I was able to keep the white along the border, which will look good, especially when I do the black in between, which I can show since there's new people in the room. I can kind of show them what we're talking about. Here we go. I'll do the red one here so she can kind of see what I'm saying for those who are new in the room. Here we go. Let's do the gray one over here. You can kind of have an idea. I know this is not the best view, but we'll do the best with what we got, right? Okay, Maddie, since you're new in the room, this is what I made today. This is what I'm talking about, the negative film strip. That's what we created. I was just showing them how I create it. I sew all those pieces together. And this will be the bottom, so that you know what a film negative is, right? So that is what this will be once it's pieced together. I'm going to try to show you what I mean without it being sewn, kind of thing. Of course, this is not long enough, but this would be what example of what the negative on the top will look like. It'd be another strip of the negative on the top. Am I not in frame? I think I'm not even in frame. I need to lift this up for you guys a little. Maybe this will help. Here we are. You can kind of see that same pattern to be at the top. Of course, the bottom. I'll try. We're going to make this work, guys. I know I didn't expect doing this in the live. But hey, at least you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. It's not done yet. I'm going to get the strips for the sides. And then it'll have the, hang on, I'm going to give you an example. It's not sewn, but you'll see what I mean. Of course, this would be long at that. Hang on there. I'm just going to lay it so you can kind of see what I mean. There we go for the new people in the room. But the film strip negative be that way. So every border be like this. Once it's done, going to be a whole quilt, of course, of it. And I have many more squares that goes with it. So yeah, it'll look really good once it's done. Yeah, I sewed the stripes earlier on. So since you're new in the room, you didn't know. Gotcha. All right. So then this will be sewn on these different square pieces and the border in between. So it's a film strip, you know, of the movie. Show, I should say. Yeah, I'm sorry. Today I was just going to try to show how I do my film strip. I used to make these and I used to roll them up. I used to have big rolls of it. And I'd have that border available for me for when I made these quilts. But I ran out of the rolls, so now I got to make them. So that is what we made. And I showed how to do it without your seams showing through on your white fabric on the opposite side, and how to make it nice and flat so it's not bulky when you sew it together, kind of thing. Lucy, if you want to make one, there's step 1 and step 2 already. The videos are already on my YouTube channel. You go to my sewing section. If you need help at the end of this live, I will add those links to the live. But tomorrow I was going to do step 3, and part of step 3 was completing this to show how to do step 3. You guys kind of got the idea of step 3. But the pattern measurements and stuff like that for the entire quilt, that there, I'm debating on either throwing in my shop or just sending them out via email for those who want to know how. It's such an easy pattern. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's so much fun. I enjoy quilting. Now you guys know what I'm working on. And if you're interested, I'll just keep on sewing. I mean, I'm just going to I need to make a bunch of this. And if you don't mind, I'm going to keep ironing these. I think I'll probably finish ironing these and completing my squares. And then I will continue finishing the strip. I'm not sure which one. Oh, Oh, same to you, Maddie. Thank you for jumping in, hun. I know quilting's not for everyone. But hey, I know I need to get this done. Matter of fact, I should text my daughter and say, hey, watch what I'm doing. Same to you. Yes, Maddie, thank you. Blessings tonight. Yes, Rose, that was nice. All right, if you guys are interested, I'll keep going. If you don't think sewing is boring to you, I have to do it anyways. So I need to keep quilting and keep going. I think I think it's 5 t-shirts wide. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 t-shirts is what I need for this quilt. I have 3 right here. Here's 4. Here's 5. I tried getting all kinds of colors. Here's 6. Here's 7. That's my favorite one, even though it's gory. 8. 9. 10. And then I have this one is 11, which I need to do. Look at that one, and that's so cool. I don't know if you guys can see that. I gotta iron that one. It's fusible. I didn't show you guys Daryl, did I? There's Daryl. 12. These I got a piece. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 2 more after that one. The Daryl one's really cool in it. So I need to fuse him next. Oh, cool, Lucy. I didn't know that. You're getting old, Maddie. Come on now. You're not old. Hey, Lucy, there is never a last quilt. We're always quilting. I say it too. I'm like, I'm not making another one, and I do. Yeah, Lucy, I'm telling you what, the quilt, the long arm service is amazing. With all those stitches, I couldn't even do it myself that well. And, you know, it's like 2 cents per square inch. So I think like a queen size quilt, it may be around, for what you pay in time and money to do it yourself, quilting it together yourself, and the wear and tear on your machine, you might as well just have the long arm service finish that part for you. I mean, to me, spending $100 to have that finished is worth it. So, oh my gosh, Rose, that's it sounds like my office. There's things everywhere. All right, I like Daryl. He's my favorite one of them all. All right, I guess I can finish. I guess I could start quilting some. I can iron on a little bit. Ironing sometimes is kind of boring. So I will just, I guess I can continue on with this. I need to cut some more of those. So let me cut some of these. All right. So I got a bunch of these. I'm going to need a whole lot more than that. All right, now I can move this over and I can cut. You guys are all good with that. I'm all good with that. These lights, I got these new lights. My husband, they're LED, but I'm telling you, I am sweating. I need to get a fan for in here when I'm here doing that. Oh, so Lucy, you know what I mean when it comes to quilt, you know, sandwiching your quilt. I mean, if you can avoid doing it, especially with your carpal tunnel, it's going to be awesome. I mean, get a long arm service done. It's going to save you a lot of the pain. I think quilting the top is the best part anyways. I enjoy that part. That's my favorite. You going to bed too, Rose? Look, everyone's leaving us. Hey, at least you guys got to watch the best part of all. And then you guys can see the next step. So if you're up for it, just let me know, guys. Comment down, here, or comment below after this live is over, yes or no, if you like to do some kind of like mug cozies next week, so you guys can actually do it with or without a sewing machine kind of thing. And this is not my good one. Let me get my good one. I think this is a good one. It's not fun when you have a dull blade. Much better. Good luck, Rose. Cleaning is never fun. I'd rather be playing in my sewing room. I thank you for those who are still sticking around. At least I have some people. Either way, I usually do this all by my lonesome, so it's fun having company. So right now I'm cutting their 2.5-inch squares are the white ones, if anyone's writing this down. It's a free way of knowing the pattern. So the white squares are 2.5 inch. And I know that these ones, let me get the other ones. This is my pattern, guys. This is how I design. Where did my square go? I do have a square here somewhere. So before I design a quilt, I usually play with paper. I get a grid paper. And then I kind of measure what I want it to be, my film strip. And these are obviously the sides of each and every one of the squares. I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Fabric. It gets my nosies. So this is how I do my patterns. I measure, with obviously my measuring thing. And I figure out, how do I want this quilt to be? The yellow is the seam allowance. So obviously they overlap each other. Sorry, I'm on your face a little. And they just kind of overlap each other with the yellow. And that's how I determine, with the squares that I have for her quilt, that this is what I want, you guys, those who like to quilt or sew on paper, you could do the same logic of this. Get different squares of paper and you can quilt them, and as long as you have a seam allowance, make different paper colors and maybe do like a granny square quilt, which is papers. I mean, I could take this sewing machine right now, put them together, and then turn them over and fold, and you can make a quilt just out of papers, with your sewing machine. Very easy. It's probably easier to fold paper than it is to iron fabric over on a seam allowance. So just saying, maybe you guys can try that. I'll even do it before I leave today. See how that looks. Lucy, what'd you say? I do that too, but a million years ago. Did buy a quilt design software. I really liked it, but I usually end up going to the grid paper. Me too. I usually go to grid paper. I usually use, let's see here. Where are they at? I just usually get color pencils, and then I just color in the colors of the quilt that I'm doing. Like, I'm sure I got my old quilt patterns here somewhere. And I mean, the quilt patterns that I do have, it's usually grid paper and color pencil. And I design my quilts on what I want. And then I have to, in my brain, measure and then figure out what the measurement is going to be for each piece. And then I cut out my template, and then I go from there. So I imagine there's better software that I can do, but I actually like the designing on grid and coloring in by hand, what exactly I want it to be. My grandson, Oliver, when he was a little bitty guy, he was in love with Curious George. And that's what I did with that one. I mean, I designed his Curious George quilt by the different kind of square pattern and prints. by doing it that way. So does anyone have any quilting questions? I mean, obviously this is a quilt I'm working on, so it's kind of hard to follow along and do the same thing I'm doing. But I mean, question on tools. Any questions? I mean, I'm here to talk because I have nothing but time to talk because I'm just cutting. Back in the day, I used to use paper to cut out, and I used to cut out my design, and then I used to glue the paper onto cardboard, like cardboard box, and that was my stencil. And then these handy dandy things came out, and then I used to use scissors to cut out my patterns because I used to use pen, you know, my pattern design, and then cut it with scissors. Now you got the Fliss tools and rotary cutters, and you know, all you got the healing mats, and now this speeds up my time like crazy. I feel so lucky. It makes the quilting even more fun. I mean, quilting before was fun, but I didn't realize how much easier now. Time factor to finish things. So you do too? Same here, Lucy. I mean, you know what though? And it's so rewarding. I mean, if anyone else is following along about this, when you create it yourself compared to going on to some software, not that I'm dissing software, I'm sure it's amazing. And I'm sure I would maybe, if I really took the time to check it out, I may fall in love with it. But I'm still stuck kind of in somewhat of my old-fashioned ways. So I'm open-minded, you know, but it's just going to take me a little time to accept the change. Now, mind you, my grandma, she was a seamstress, Grandma Muffet. Actually, her last name was Muffet, like Little Miss Muffet. But she used to take newspaper and whatever, and she'd cut them out, and she used to make all kinds of clothing, doll clothing, not quilts per se, but pillows, quilting, clothing is what she did. And yeah, so I mean, that's how she did it. And, you know, and take these and pin it to the whatever fabric and cut them out individually. I mean, whatever paper you had, kind of thing. All right, so I need, let me see here. I need the 1-inch strips. Here we are. So these 1-inch strips that are these right here, for those who are following along and kind of curious and are writing down measurements. These guys, the in-between guys, are 1 inch wide by 2.5 inch long. So these are these guys right here. Right there. And so that's that measurement. So right now I need to make those 2.5 inch. Oops, Lucy, you're writing like crazy. Let's see here. What you saying? With grid paper, yeah. Same here. Ruler, yes. And I've always still have my wooden ruler. Where is he at? He's here somewhere. Here he is. I don't know. There's something about the old, you know, just a ruler, like a wooden ruler. The plastic ones are great too, you know, but I end up definitely my wooden ruler is the one that I end up going back to, kind of thing. Look how tedious these pieces are. I was going to say paper, but it ends up making the cutest film strip that I need. I need a whole lot of it. It's going to go on each row. So I need to have every bit I can of this fabric. So now the outer border, that there is 1.5 inches, top and bottom. And the in-between is same thing. Let me think here. I think it's the same thing, or I think it's the inch wide. I'm not sure. Haven't got that far. Again, I had to redesign it today. I'm sure my other quilts, it was different. This is the measurements that I'm doing. scrap fabrics. Let me see your scrap fabrics. Yes. Oh, I know. And that's how you learn, Lucy, in the beginning, how to, if you try different kinds of fabrics, you'll know what to do, what not to use. I remember making my very first chenille quilt. And I thought, oh, it's cotton fabrics. It's not hard. Funny. No, that's very funny. That was probably one of the most challenging, especially when it's popcorn chenille and it's, all kinds of bumps and bobs into your machine. What kind of needle to use. All right, I'm switching cameras really quick. Be right back. Making fabric dust bunnies everywhere. Okay, let's move this guy. See if my camera, how it looks. I think I moved my machine a little. Let's see here. We could do this. Okay. We got the white ones. And here we go. Starting it again. The Lucy way, I should say. The Simply the Line way. How am I doing on thread? I'm good. What are you doing? The machine's got a mind of its own. Come on, you could do this. Old lady, my little honey. Those who were in here weren't here earlier. Just telling everyone what I named my sew machine. Her name's Honey. Totally in love with this machine. It's my very favorite one. Couldn't imagine if anything would ever happen to her. Lucy, I didn't hear. Did you have a name for yours, or you never named yours? Everybody's different. So what I'm doing here, for those who don't know, I'm doing an assembly line. So I'm pretty much starting off one way of my sewing, and then you'll see here in a minute. Once I get these done, I flip the fabric and do the opposite side. This saves time. Here we go. Oh, I can't tell you how much I have missed sewing. Totally miss it. It's been such a long time. 1-inch pieces are so tiny. At least they don't like to shift. I think the larger the pieces are, the harder. They always move, then I have to pin, and I hate having to pin a million pins, kind of thing. Your sewing machine, what have you ever named? Do you ever name any of your machinery? This one's Honey. Honey. I remember when I got this machine, it was actually a surprise for my husband. I was really saving my money. This is before I had my business. And I was nannying full time, and I nannied because I love nannying. I don't have to work. My husband, he's a great provider, and I don't have to worry. And I'm a person, I can't sit still. I have to work, and I wasn't able to have children. I only had one birth child, which is my daughter, Abby. You guys know Holly, she is my daughter, but she is through marriage, and I've known her since she was, young. And so I consider her my daughter. But I've always wanted a whole bunch of kids. I love children. I love children. My favorite thing, and I would have to say, is I love children. So I guess God didn't bless me with that many children, just one. And Abby, when I was pregnant with her, it was a blessing because I was told I would never have kids. And so I had her. She was a miracle. She came out perfect and everything. So so my husband asked me, because I went to nursing school, became a nurse and all that. And he's like, Salena, he goes, I want you happy. He's like, what would make you happy? What do you want to do? I know you like to nurse and all this stuff too, but what would make you happy? So I said, I love children. I mean, we can't have kids. We were blessed with Abby. And so I'm like, I'd love to nanny. So I looked around and found care.com, and where I got, they do background check and all that, and families find you. So for years upon years, I nannied so many children and families, helped so many families in their home care, and then my last child that I nannied, she finally got to be at my house. So I ended my nannying career with my last child at my place. So it was so rewarding, and I loved every bit of it. But so long story short, I think it was the Christmas after I stopped nannying. I was kind of sad. I love children, and I just knew it was time. And my husband's like, well, we'll make you happy again. I'm like, I love to sew. And then I got really back into my sewing. And then so that Christmas, he surprised me with this FOF. He went to a FOF store and asked the ladies what, this and that. And he actually picked this one out for me. So that's how honey became in my life. So, hey Mary, how you doing? I am just sewing. If you watched this live earlier, you can kind of see what I'm doing right now and why I'm doing it. So I figured I could talk and sew now because I need to do this strip for this quilt. So I might as well just talk. Give you guys a little bit about how I got this sewing machine I call Honey. So that's why I call her Honey, because she's like a sweet part of my life, as my sweet husband. I cried my eyes out when I opened that up on Christmas Day. I mean, because Christmas for moms, much more happiness for us is like seeing our kids happy and watching them open their gifts and surprising others. That is my favorite thing in the world, is gifts to others. And so when you receive something like that, like I did on Christmas for my FOF here, my honey, I cried my eyes out, and hence her name is Honey. She's sweetness in my life. Oh my gosh. So that's my backstory on Honey. So I feel really blessed. I have a good man. Lucy, if I'm not mistaken, I think you've been asking me to sew for some time now, or asked me, when am I going to sew? When am I going to sew? Well, here I am. Oh, look at Nan Johnson's in the house. How are you doing, Nan? Are you sewing too? Nan is the winner of the last sewing machine I just gave away. She was surprised to get that for the holidays. What are you going to sew first, Nan? Any idea? I'm sure it's a journal. Oh, I'm glad you do. To some people, this may be quite boring. They're like, all she's doing is strips of fabric in the machine. Nan, right now, I'm just doing the assembly line. I'll show you what. Matter of fact, what I could do for those who are coming and going. This is what I'm doing, and I'll just lay it across there because there's no need to really see anything else. But I'm making the film strip for Abby's Walking Dead t-shirt quilt. So that's what I'm sewing. I'll just leave that up there while I'm sewing. So right now I'm just doing the strips. Oh, thank you, Mary. That's right. You're not sure either. If you watched this live earlier, you can kind of see, the t-shirts and stuff that I've already fused and cut out, because the clothing has a tendency to be very stretchy, and the last thing you want is anything stretchy in a quilt. So I fused it with cotton stabilizer. The cotton stabilizer that is not going to tear, is permanent stabilizer, so when I iron it on, it's permanent. It's never going to peel off. And that's on the back of every one of the quilt squares that I did. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad, Nan, that you're happy with your machine. Did you name your machine? That was my whole story about little Miss Foff here. That's her name, is Honey. She is my honey. And that's why I called her Honey, because the sweetness in life. I was thinking in the beginning of the year, is anyone familiar the quilt pattern Stamps Around the World? Anyone familiar with that quilt pattern? Or what it is? It's not stamps. For the journaler world that likes to watch me, not stamps. It's like really tiny squares, almost like the granny squares, like a granny square quilt, except it is a quilt of obviously all kinds of fabrics. I mean, sometimes they do it in a pattern, like square patterns. They do all kinds of patterns. They do it in a crazy pattern, but there's so many different patterns, but it's pretty much small squares. Like by the time they're sewn, they're like an inch by an inch kind of thing. And I was thinking of getting the ladies involved, anyone who wants to send me like square pieces in an envelope, like that are 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. And as many squares I get, as many as I quilt. And then we can do, they're from quilt pieces from around the world. Of course, you guys are all from all around that are my followers. And I have a piece of you, because for the life of me, of all the quilts I have made in my entire life, I have never made one for myself. Not one. I mean, I can tell you all the quilts and show you all the quilts I've ever made and photos and designed and all the patterns I've designed, but I've never made a quilt for myself. So I thought if I would make a quilt for myself, it would be Stamps Around the World, meaning I'll get pieces of fabric from all my followers, and when I get one in the mail, I will quilt in to the quilt until that quilt is finished, for however long it's going to take. And I'll have pieces of you guys from all over. What do you guys think? Just curious. Or is it too cheesy? I'm very cheesy sentimentalist sometimes. I just thought it'd be great. I mean, it's going to take a whole lot of squares. But, you know, if one person sends me like 5 squares that are different color squares, I don't care what kind of fabric. It could be any fabric. I can make it work. It could be sweater fabric. I can make it quilted. I mean, I can say I'm a master at that. I know how to quilt pretty much any fabric. Thank you. Not cheesy at all? Okay. All right. Thank you, Jana. Did I say Jana? Oh my goodness. Jana. Oh my God, I said it again here. I did so well earlier. Oh my gosh. If Holly was here, she'd be like, oh my gosh. Can you ever get it right? Oh my gosh. Sorry, love. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Jana. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, I got a few more. As you guys can see, it almost looks like, if you want to know what I'm doing, it's just kind of like when you make a banner, you know, the fabric, I mean, the thread is in between. This is like exactly that. If you ever want to make a banner, this is how you do it. You just kind of put one piece through, let some threads be gone, you know, like through the thing, and then string another one. It's pretty much making a banner, but I'm going to be cutting that in between. I'm not making a banner. But this is like a quick, easy way to quilt this part, you know, and I said it earlier. So if you watched the video, this live earlier, you kind of get more easy way explanation of what I'm doing and how and why I'm doing it this way. Mary's in the house. I didn't see if Mary was Mary just jump in, or I see a hi Mary, but if Mary's here, hi Mary. I didn't know you were here. I'm not sure which Mary. Sorry, I'm reading the feeds late. Oh, is that how you got the quilting bug? Oh my gosh. Let me think. How did I get the quilting bug? Okay. My little daughter, my daughter, my only birth daughter, Abby, she was little, and my aunt, my dad's sister, was making quilts for children in need. And it pretty much was just a piece of fabric at the top, piece of fabric at the bottom. She sewed it like a pillowcase, turned it inside out, and then tacked it with, just did tacking. So it's just two pieces of fabric, and there was not even like, was there batting in the middle? I don't even think there was batting in the middle. It was just a quick, easy quilt to make, and for that cause kind of thing. And she gave one to my daughter. It had bunnies all over it. Well, my daughter took that thing everywhere. There was holes in it like everywhere, and I kept mending it and mending it and mending it. I couldn't mend it anymore. So finally, I was like, I need to make her a quilt, you know, like another one. And I thought possibly that would replace the one that she lost, right? That we can't use anymore because I had to put it away, because if she used it anymore, it was going to fall apart, you know? So I was like, okay, looking around for sewing machines. But at the time, I mean, I didn't have much money. I was a single mom, you know, and I couldn't afford a sewing machine. And I stopped by a garage sale. So what I'm doing now, for those who are new in the room, I'm cutting the thread in between each, and I'm keeping them because that's the next step. And so I went to a garage sale, and this lady had a Singer sewing machine. The table for the Singer sewing machine, it had the table where the machine would go inside the desk, and it had the chair for $20. And it was the most beautiful desk. It was a wooden, like light wooden desk. It was tongue and groove drawers, for those who know what a tongue and groove is. It's like, it's not nailed drawers kind of thing. And that thing was heavy as heck. And I asked if there was anything wrong with it. And she's like, well, I never used it. I'm like, oh my God, awesome, right? But mind you, I grew up with a sewing machine. My mother sewed all the time. So I knew sewing. Ooh, sorry, I kind of moved the camera, guys. But it's just been years since I have sewn. So I took it home, and even though the lady didn't use it for years, it was a mess. The inside had so much dust, bunnies, and you know, it needed a lot of work. So that's when I made my daughter's actual first quilt. And then thereafter, I had grandkids from my daughter, from my husband, and I made them so many quilts. And then people start asking if I can make them quilts. And then I fell in love. My favorite kind of quilting is memory quilts, like especially children's quilts that are their clothing, that I've turned to workable pieces in a quilt kind of thing. So, hey, oh, Mary, there you are, Mary. I knew you were here. I'm like, was there another Mary who came here? It's so weird because when I do live sales, I usually have like 50 plus people. It's so weird because I know not everyone's into sewing. It's so weird to see I have such a quiet room. I'm so used to juggling. Those who've ever been in my live sales, I'm a juggler. I'm here, there, I'm everywhere. This is so relaxing to me. I miss this so much. So this is how I do the assembly line of pieces to make this film strip. Just need to cut these pieces without pulling the thread through, because I don't backstitch on this part. And the last thing I want to do is lose the threading in the piece I just got done quilting. So I'm careful not to pull. That is the goal. Careful not to pull. Me too. Okay, so if anyone that wants to see, because I have videos of quilts I've made. If you're in my YouTube channel, AmourFabriQues group, if you go there and you scroll, actually you don't have to scroll down. At the top it says videos, photos. You could click on either of those and you can scroll through them and you will see quilts that I've made. It's going to be quite the scrolling down to see them, but you'll see some of the quilts I've made. I have to say one of my proudest quilts I've ever made was the triple Irish chain quilt. That was a memory quilt, but all the pieces were 2-inch by 2-inch. If anyone knows what a triple Irish chain quilt is, a lot of small pieces. And the woman was Irish, and her mother passed away, and she wanted me to take her mother's clothing. I mean, clothing that is blue jeans, polyester, cotton blends, stretchy blends, sheer blends, and turn them into a triple Irish chain quilt. And so I did. I had to fuse and back those certain kind of fabrics that I had to, but and the colors of the fabrics, there was nothing. She wanted it to be like cottage chic, right? But the colors of the fabrics that her mother, or I'm sorry, fabrics, but the clothing her mom had weren't too flowery. They were, I mean, I did the best I could. But I'll tell you what, when I put those pieces together, it was amazing. So if you go through there, you'll see it. I could post it tomorrow in the group so I can bring it to the top kind of thing. But then you can kind of see it turned out beautiful. It's amazing when you can get hundreds of clothing pieces and you turn it to a pattern and you step back and see the beauty. Oh my God, it was gorgeous. It was just gorgeous. She cried. It was so many pieces of her. And then the sleeves, like the cuffs and sleeves of every shirt I kept, and the border of every memory quilt I've made is the border of all the sleeves of all the shirts, and of the shirts and the bottoms of the pants were of the person's clothing. So then that person, whoever got the quilt, can have the feeling of knowing that that person wore every piece of that, but every arm has been wrapped around them in that quilt. So every time that person's hand or arm has been in that piece, it's like almost like that border is like them hugging them kind of thing. So that was my signature of my clothing quilts, especially the memory ones of a loved one who had passed away. And so yeah. Yeah, so now you guys get to hear me ramble. Did I miss something? Me too, especially my grandsons when their clothing quilts, you know, their first year clothing quilts. So all the clothes they wore in that first year, my daughter saved. And then I turned it into a quilt, you know, like that's in the Facebook group as well. So you can see that quilt. It should be in there. I think that's in there. Holly's son's Oliver. No, I think it's Charlie's quilt. It should be in that. Anyhow, yeah. I like designing quilts that way. That's my favorite. I like to design the quilt. It's my favorite. And the thing is, when you design a quilt, the best part about it is that you're designing it for that one special person's quilt. That not every quilt is the same. So when you design a quilt for a person, it's catered around that type of person and their character and what they want, kind of thing. All right, I got this. I'm not a huge fan of needles unless I really need to. All right, let's read the feeds. Oh, you too, Barry? You learned from your mama as well? Oh, cool, Barry. I need to see if I'm subscribed to you. I'll check. Yeah, you could go to my Facebook group. I think it's down below is my information. Go to the Facebook group, click on photos, or there'll be a lot of junk journal stuff in the beginning because the junk journal world is what I've been catering to a lot lately, and a lot of the pictures are from followers. But mine are in there. If you have any questions, I can also send you guys pictures if you want. So, I bet, Nan, it's the best. You know, I'll go back. The thing is, I've made so many quilts, but I've never made one for myself. So that is my next goal, is to make one for myself. And I would love to. I think I did that Stamps Around the World thing and see if other people are on board with it. Maybe the more I sew on Mondays, so Mondays is the new thing I want to start doing, the more maybe I can put that out there and maybe do some kind of like send me fabric swatches and I will quilt it into a quilt kind of thing, like Pieces of You. I gotta think of a fancy name to call it, but Pieces of You, guys. I think it'd be awesome. I mean, I don't have to do stamps around the world. I can make a different kind of pattern. Maybe I can think of maybe designing my own pattern. I think of one to do. Pattern called Seven Sisters. I know Seven Sisters. Yep, Amish style. 7 of us, 5 kids, 2 parents. It's like 7 stars completely. Oh yeah, it's like the huge star in the middle. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You gotta send me the photos. I'm sure it was absolutely gorgeous. So weird, I'm doing this standing up. Usually when I sew, I sit down. Does anyone else have feet that swell? My feet, I have like move my camera and adjust it. I've been standing this whole time. Yes, it's a beautiful, what are we talking about? The quilt pattern, the Seven Sisters. Oh, I bet. I bet. Is it, Nan? Oh, I thought some people would think it's so boring, but I was thinking I'm just going to do it regardless because it's something I enjoy, and I rarely show you guys what I do, you know, and I want to do this every Monday. My goal is Sew Monday. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to sew on Mondays. Usually, you know me, I'm live sales or daily deals, and I want to start getting these sewing projects done. Do they? I don't know. It's because it's probably circulation with your veins, right, on your legs. I've been to a vein doctor and stuff for it. I mean, I'm supposed to wear these nice tights that make me sweat, like, you know. Not only do you get hot flashes, then the doctor tells you to wear these tights that make you sweat even more. I'd rather just sweat. I mean, have swollen feet than sweat like that. So I just kind of whatever, choose my battles. Yeah, it's very hard, but I'll live. I just have the camera set up just fine. I just don't feel like switching the camera. I could try, but I'll make you guys dizzy. I'll live. I can hear my husband in my ear right now saying, Salena, why do you gotta be so sacrificial all the time? Oh my gosh. I had the most amazing day with my husband today. I feel blessed that I have a partner. I mean, we've been together. He's better with numbers. I think 15 years. I'm not sure. That's the worst. I think he gets mad at me every time. I don't count. I don't do the anniversary thing, and I don't expect my husband to buy me something for my anniversary. I'm a very simple person. I mean, I'm happy I have him. So, so yeah, I think we've been about that 15. But he's retired, has been for 4 years now, I think, about 4 years. See, again, I'm bad with numbers. It doesn't matter. He's been retired for a while. But he's home every day with me. Sometimes he totally gets on my nerves, but like the days like today, it's been awesome. We just kind of like, you know, go with it. We walk every day pretty much lately together every morning. And then if I get all my orders done the day before, then we do the beach. We do a lot of fishing. And we live in Pensacola, so we do a lot of surf fishing, they call it. Right along the shore. It's our favorite. We really don't want a boat. We never were boat people. But it's fun, especially around here. I mean, we're not used to fishing the ocean, so we're kind of newbies at that. I keep saying I'm going to do this, but I should post tomorrow my catch of a puffer fish or a blowfish. Like, how do you get a blowfish off of a hook? I mean, him and it was comical, this video we have, where like this thing is puffing up like crazy and seething from the mouth, and we're looking at it like, what do we do? So what do we do? Almost like having I don't know what is happening. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It is mine. What is yours? I must have missed something, Mary, in the feeds. But, sorry, honey. I was busy blabbing. But I totally didn't read what you said. Oh, that you had that. 11 years. I'm sorry, love. I guess I shouldn't brag about my husband. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking of anyone who's that I can imagine. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you a big hug, Mary. That's got to be hard. Yeah, I don't ever want to take him for granted. I mean, of course, there's no perfect guy out there. And of course, girl, I can be really difficult to live with. Seriously. But he really is, he makes me a better person. He's so good to me. He does all the dishes. He does the grocery shopping. He does a lot of the cleaning. And those are just things, I know, but they're awesome, especially when what I do is a full-time job. Even though I don't have to work, I don't have time for a lot of those things. And he just picks it up, and does it, I can't say he doesn't complain, because there's days he's like, why do you do this? And he rearranged my entire cabinetry and everything, and I can't find a thing. But instead of being mad, I really appreciate it. And see, I can maybe a big hug, Mary. I would. Yes, I would give you a hug. It's awesome having a buddy. So, Mary, I'd love to be your buddy if you want me to be your buddy. If somebody you want to talk to. All my information's down below, so you know how to reach out to me. You're not alone. Even though probably sometimes you may feel like it, you're definitely not alone. Great, got the second step done. I'm sure I could have cut more and done more, but I could always add to it. And there we go, we got even bigger banners as I throw that in your face. Not a problem, Mary. That's the cool thing about not only this channel, but our following. They are very loving and very nice women. A lot of them are junk journalers, hence that's why there's a lot of people probably not watching, because sewing is really not the funnest thing for them, and plus a lot of them probably are not aware of or have a sewing machine. But they are amazing people, and there's so many lovely ladies, and there's so many I can list and talk about, but most of them are kind, very creative, and love to share and hang out kind of thing. Aw. Thank you. And I didn't say Jana. Jana. We're getting there. Is anyone else making anything other than quilting and junk journaling? Is anyone else into any other art? I mean, there's so many other arts that woodworking. Like, my mom, she does rug hooking. I call her a rug hooker. But some people are into cross stitching, crocheting. Okay, as you guys can see, it's getting there. It's taking some time, but we're getting there. Got to do the opposite direction now. Yeah, I'm changing it up all the time. Like, I think if I have a chance this week to go live, I can show you guys what I've been working on. Let me grab it. Where's it at? Where did it go? Hang on one second. Here it is. Okay. Is anyone familiar with crewel, or pretty much yarn? It's like pretty much yarn. Here's my loom. This is my favorite loom of all. I love how it just, opens up like that, and you just put it in. It just tightens it up really easy. It's favorite. It's an oldie. I don't know if you can get this one anymore, but it's the Serenity Prayer, right? So as you can see here, this is what it'll look like. This is the pattern. It's Serenity Prayer, yeah. It's by Creative Stitchery. It's a vintage one. It's pretty rather large, and I'm going to have it framed for Holly. That's going to be, I hope Holly's not watching, but this is Holly's Christmas gift. So I thought she'd absolutely love it. So that's where I'm at so far. I got the lettering, which is obviously the easiest part. And it's just, you know, yarn, you know, and you're just kind of weaving it through kind of thing. Yeah, so I'll do that one next time if anyone is interested, you know, stitch with me live, needlepoint live. So that's Holly's gift. I'm hoping to get these things done, guys. I'm hoping. Yes. Oh, cool, Mary. Yeah, I agree, Mary. It's keeping it a variety is what you do. And junk journaling right now is really big. So I stick with you guys in the junk journal world. I feed your guys' addiction with supplies. What are you doing, Needle? I didn't say you could do that. Yeah, at least we got our first error of the night. Knock on wood. Better knock on wood while I can. I don't want that to happen. We don't want to start that one. We don't want errors. All right. I need my seam ripper, but thankfully it's just the beginning. Thank you. Thank you. I think she'll love it. And then I'm going to have it professionally framed. I thought I can frame it myself, I'm sure. But I want it done right, where it's airtight, you know, and so that so it's done right. I've had it done before professionally, and it was worth every bit. So, all right, there's my first boo-boo, guys. And how long have I been live? I've been live on for hours, since 7, 8, 9, 10. It's about 2.5 hours. My first error. That's pretty good. Let's try that again. If you mess up, your best bet is to tear out the threading and start again. Don't want to be messy. I hear you, Nan. Needlepoint stitching is time consuming, and to sit down, you know, is hard to do, especially, Nan, you work. So by the time you get home, you got to cook, clean, you know, and by the time you sit down, if you're going to sit down, it's to veg out on some TV, or your eyes are going to fall asleep. And if I start doing needlepoint, you know, after a long day, I would be falling asleep. That's why I do audible books, you know, audibles, sorry. I've been listening to audibles for years. I used to read books, pages, but if I do that, I fall asleep because if I'm sitting and I'm looking at pages, I'm asleep, man. But if I listen to audibles and work, I can listen to a book. You know, I can actually read, and I love to read. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I have to multitask. I can't sit down, or I will just like in bed at night when it's time for bed. Once I get in bed, I fall asleep. Like if I have my head on the pillow, give me 5 minutes. My poor husband, he loves to talk. And I fall asleep on him. He knows by now. Seriously, I think I feel blessed. I mean, I guess I'm lucky. Some people can't sleep. Me, no. My head hits the pillow, I'm out. Out, out, out. And I usually sleep on my back, and I don't move until morning time. So, you do some felting. So, Lucy, is it wool felting? Like wool? That's fun. It's almost like you are doing like embroidery, but you were just kind of like felting. It's the best way I can put it. I guess this is the word for it. I used to, in the shop that I have, cater to wool rug hookers and felting, that kind of thing. And I just ran out of time to be listing the items I have in the shop, and I have bins of wool, raw wool, all the items to do that. I have some raw wool in the shop now, but when it comes to wool fabrics, they're just in bins because I just don't have the time. If I had someone just to list for me, it'd be awesome. I just don't have the time. The junk journal world has got my fancy lately. I'm telling you, you guys keep me busy. Pretty busy. Okay, let's read here. Aw, you guys are so good to each other. I know, I bet you, Nan, wish you can retire. Yeah, we probably got the time to and from work to listen. Yeah, that's how I would do it too if I had to work as well. Leave it to heaven. Oh, that's gotta be awesome, Mary. It's gonna be a good one. I love the good ones. Oh, I hope you get to, Lucy. It'd be awesome to be able to retire. I'm telling you, I feel like my husband and I, we've been so blessed, and him being blessed to retire early as well. Silk fusion paper. Oh, wow. That's got to be different. I've never seen that done, Lucy, with silk fusion. That is crazy. I'm going to sew a few more, and then I'm going to run to the bathroom because, you know, gotta go. You gotta go. I'm telling you, I swear, once I hit my 40s, it's like my body has decided to do a whole new thing. Oh my gosh. I've never seen silk fusion. I've seen felting. They make the cutest things too. Animals they make, and it's just so neat, the art of that. It's just, and it's expensive art as well, especially being that wool being in silk. Those are fancy, expensive types of textiles. Very, my mom, she ended up, she'd go to thrift shops and find wool clothing and making sure that it's not, as long as it's, mostly wool, but a lot of times she looks for 100% wool, and then she'll take the clothing and rip, cut out the seams and save money that way, and get her fabric. She would even dye her wool. And still does, I think. She makes wool worms and does the rug hooking. She has a wool worm, if anyone's familiar with rug hooking machine, where she cuts out the wool worms to weave through to make her rugs. So it's like an art in itself. It's crazy and cool, but expensive, especially when you get the wool. What is that fabric at the backing of the wool? It's like a canvas, almost like burlap. You can get certain kind of prints that are printed onto it that you can use as templates to create the rug, and those are expensive. So yeah, I agree. I hope you can too. That would be such a rewarding if you can. But they make it hard to retire these days, All right, so I'm doing the same thing, except we can see my banners are getting longer. I think it's the last one, and then I can do a whole long strip, and now I can roll this, if you want to call it like a film roll trim. Neither, as I felt. They were dying in the apple trees. Okay. Asked me why I had dead rats hanging in the trees. Yeah, rug hooking is not that easy, especially you're trying to take wool worms and create designs with them. And depending on the widths of each wool worm, it can make your picture not exactly look what it's supposed to be. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. I can only imagine. I'd love to see a picture of that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's put those guys on the top and keep going. We got this, guys. All right. Let's see here. Let me unplug this one. All right. Doing good. I'm going to use the restroom really quick. Be back, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Really had to go really, really bad. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm back. All right, where was I? Let me read the beads. Oh, cool. Smart, Lizzie. There's so many clothes that you could refurbish to do that. Yes, they are. Oh, how cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's like a whole nother art that would be awesome to get into if you had the time, you know. It's just maybe when you retire, you can do that. Love to see it too. All right, guys, we're getting close to home stretch. What I do for our family, right? When we make homemade gifts, what it takes. Quilting does take time, especially making a film strip does take a whole lot of time. Now, the other part when it comes to the clothing squares, those are easy. Like, that's the easy part. This here is definitely the time-consuming part, but it's going to be the best part of all. It's going to be what's going to make this quilt pop out, and it's totally going to be a film, you know, a film quilt. So, I'm excited. Oh, cool. That'd be awesome to see, Lucy. It would be really cool to see. If you're great with sending pictures via email, or hey, you know, the Facebook group that I have, it's down below. Feel free to post your work on there. That's what my Facebook group is all about. It's to post, you know, your creative work. I would love to see your guys' work, like your quilts. So Mary, Lucy, whomever else is watching, you know, share that on the Facebook group. Share your photos of your work. Oh my God, I would love to see it. I'll bring up some of my oldies and show them to you guys as well. And I think it'd be fun. I mean, at least to me, it'd be fun. I mean, it'd be awesome. I know. I promise I'm keeping you guys posted along the way. Like I said, video 1 and video 2 are already in the YouTube channel of mine. All you have to do is check it out, the step-by-step on how to make this. I'm on step 3, and I'll be doing a video tutorial, which will be called step 3, tomorrow or the day after. I'm just preparing for it with you guys tonight. I got one more to go. Look at my banners are getting longer. We're getting closer. Pretty soon it'll look like that. And then I'm going to keep doing the steps until the quilt is done. And then I will offer up the pattern. I'm not sure if in my shop or for free. I don't know. It depends on how hard it's going to be to create some kind of digital or whatever. But we're getting there. We're getting there. You guys see it's getting kind of closer. We got this. After this part, I need to iron them. I think my iron's still plugged in. I think Abby would be totally surprised. She should be even more surprised if she doesn't watch me live. She won't get to see what happens. But I think when she opens it, I think she'll be surprised. But she's 18, so I'm sure she doesn't mind seeing me show this live or on the YouTube channel, on Facebook, or I think she'd be flattered. Yeah, Mary, I hope you try it out. It's really cool. I mean, I've done, like I said, Star Wars for a lady. Her son had collected the Star Wars shirts for a long time. The cool thing about the Star Wars one is that I got to take the shirt tags and incorporate them into the quilt, because a lot of the t-shirts that this person had, these shirts were collectors, you know, and so I wanted to keep the original tags and put them on the front, reverse them. So then they were flappy tags on the front of the shirts. So it showed that, you know, that was the year this shirt was made, kind of thing. And but Abby's quilt, The Walking Dead, there was not any, woohoo, I'm getting it. There wasn't t-shirts, because the newer t-shirts nowadays, they're tagless. And and a lot of her shirts weren't the actual Walking Dead brand. So we didn't have that option on this, which is fine, because I mean, couldn't afford buying all the brand Walking Dead t-shirts. And not only that, the brand Walking Dead t-shirts didn't have as many beautiful prints of the non-brand. So it's fine. But if I can get my hands on one Walking Dead brand t-shirt, I would love to, but I haven't been able to find that. Or that I should say I haven't looked hard enough. But look at it, I got strip upon strip upon strip. It's getting there. I think I got one more to sew on to that one. And that's what I do. And I keep sewing it and sewing and sewing it till I got a roll of it. And then when I'm ready to quilt, it's ready for me. Yeah, I'm so excited. So now, like after I iron this, I'm going to put the border on. And then we got it, guys. We're getting there. And then we'll call it a night. I mean, I can do this later, I guess. What time is it? It's 10:30 right now. Tomorrow's Tuesday already. I agree, Nan. Any special thing you're making right now, Nan? Oh, that's cool, Mary. How many girls do you have? All right, so if I measure this is probably like 2 quilts with, so that's plenty. All right, and then I can attach this to this guy too when I'm ready and add it to him. I need to sew some length onto this so I don't waste this. So I'll do that. This was just to show you guys earlier how this is done. I'm definitely going to add on to this for sure. I got to cut that to make sure I have it even first. But I first need to iron this. So let me, excuse me, get that iron out. Let me cut those other fabric pieces first, and I'll switch the camera over and iron this. Let me get this all set up for you guys. My fancy dancy iron board. I totally need to get myself an iron board. Okay. Okay, my fancy dancy iron board. Let's get this guy over there. Get my iron. Okay, let's iron this. Nan, you going to bed, baby? Oh, thank you, Nan, for staying up with me. I appreciate it. I'll probably iron this and call it a night, too. I can always do it later. Yes, it does. It comes really fast. I guess I could call it a night now, guys, if you guys want me to. There's always tomorrow or the day after. I thank you guys for hanging out with me live. I can't thank you guys enough. I really, really appreciate it. It felt good to sew live, that's for sure. And maybe somebody learned something. That would make me happy. For sure. Oh, good, Jana. I really appreciate it. And see, I said your name right. I think if I taught you guys anything is how to sew the seams down, folding them together. So when you sew the border, you know, they won't stick up in the inside or show through on the opposite side. You know, when I first started sewing, I didn't know that you can do that. I'm not sure who taught me that. I'm not too sure who taught me that, but it was a great way of learning. Oh, thank you. I hope you had fun. Well, I hope you guys have a good night. I'll just call it quits. Yes, thank you, thank you. Well, I'll just call it quits for the night, guys. And then we'll just do this another day. And you guys can see the progress of how I get this quilt done. You guys get your rest. Go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. Thank you, thank you. I'll just call it quits, guys. I'll get on off here. There's always another day. I thank you so much for staying this long. I'm tired. I'm going to go ahead and just iron this up and finish the border after I get off with you guys. And so I'll be ready to do a video in the morning. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you, thank you. I thank you, Lucy. I thank you, those who are lurking. Jana. Nan. We got Mary here. Thank you guys for telling me and hanging out with me tonight. Monday is Monday. You guys know how that goes. I'm excited to finish this quilt, and I can't wait to show you the finished results of it, guys. You guys have a beautiful night. Bye.